Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. The consolidation continues for the overall S&P 500, just below all-time highs. Once again this morning, we're opening relatively unchanged after an uneventful session for the overall indexes yesterday. Individual stocks, however, where to be focused on. We'll talk about a few of them coming up here. Obviously, Clover Health emerging yesterday as the main focus for Reddit's Wall Street Bets Forum, trading over 700 million shares on the day yesterday. It's up again in the pre-market this morning, very actively traded. Wendy's also added to that list yesterday, jumping more than 20%, also active in the pre-market again this morning. And another highly shorted stock added to the list for the first time really yesterday, Wish, which is Context Logic, popping up again this morning, more than 30% on heavy volume. So we'll talk about Wish coming up here. Overall, the market, though, waiting for Thursday's May CPI, Consumer Price Index reading coming out at 8:30. Tomorrow morning, another key gauge on inflation for the U.S. We'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. It's Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there's a look at how things stand early on so far this morning. Yeah, pretty muted for the overall markets right now. S&P positive, the Dow, NASDAQ basically unchanged. TSX futures here in Toronto pointing at a slightly lower open. At the bottom end of the board there, you can see crypto is trying to bounce here. 4.7% right now for Bitcoin. Ethereum back in positive territory again this morning as well. After a bit of a sell-off, to say the least, yesterday, once again, guys, we tested at that 30,000 range once again on Bitcoin. So we'll have a look at some cryptos coming up here. But I mean, the list continues to expand when it comes to these online, retail-focused, Reddit-focused, whatever you want to call them, stocks this morning. We're seeing this Wish going crazy, Context Logic, Wendy's back on the move again. But some of the more traditional or the old school, I guess, if you want to call them that, squeeze stocks, not as active and even in negative territory this morning.
It's at that point, right? Like you just called, we're calling AMC old school. I suppose that's going to be the case. Welcome, guys. It is hump day, and look, the meme names have sort of continued to make their run here. Actually, already have a little bit of Wendy's here, and we're going to be talking all about what is moving, and whether it's short squeezes or whether it's just calling them meme stocks. It seems like it's going to be interchangeable, but the reality is stocks are worth what you pay for them, or what someone else is willing to pay you for them, and that's at the end of the day. Unless you're collecting a dividend on that, what do you really own? You know, you're handing over to somebody else and you want them to pay a higher price. And a lot of that is happening at higher prices with some exceptions. And we'll talk a little bit about Lordstown. That was crazy when we did have that drop in the afternoon show. So I know that's going to be on the radar as well. So I'm looking forward to this day. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, Clover's almost on 20 million shares. I'm watching Wish, they're like neck and neck in terms of volume. Wish is a cheaper stock. But it should be another active one here today, Sean. And I'm hungry because we were talking a lot about the Wendy's menu this morning, and made me think about a good Frosty.
Yeah, we love the Frosties, the $1 Frosties right now.
Is that on right now?
Yeah, apparently $1 right now for smalls. I don't know. But yeah, so welcome, guys. Look, this is going to be a big day, man. The sticky note is out, and it's huge. I love every single name on there. I think the plays are going to be monsters today, starting with Ride, starting with Wendy's, starting with Clover. I mean, we can just keep on going. What about everyone's favorite stock, AMC, today? Down. We'll see what levels we can play off there. I mean, I'm super excited. A little bit sore from our round yesterday. I realized that we're no longer spring chickens, but that shouldn't be affected after one round, Brendan. But
our good friend Greg was saying he's going back out again tonight.
Oh my God. So. I just feel lucky that we did not get rained on. And it was getting questionable on the drive there, but then thank God we actually didn't even feel one drop. So Randy owes me $20 wherever that Debbie Downer is located.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful evening. We didn't quite get through the entire course, unfortunately. The dark caught up with us, but that's okay. It was a good time. Let's kick things off this morning. Head over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, welcome back everyone. I wish you a lot of profitable opportunities on the market. Please have fun and be kind and make sure to like this video right now. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We have a lot to talk about before the market gets going here in just under an hour. We'll touch on a number of these individual movers once again this morning. There's a few popping up. We did see yesterday, but they were more kind of secondary, third type of plays. But this list, as we said, continues to grow, and I'm talking about Clovis Oncology was one that kind of popped up a little bit in the afternoon yesterday. One of the cancer stocks, highly shorted cancer stocks, CLVS. I want to talk about this car lots as well. So some of the autofocus, smaller autofocus stocks did pop up yesterday. LOTZ made a big move also with a high short percentage, and there's this AEHL as well. So again, we kind of have to narrow our focus this morning and pick, two or three maybe. We should also, guys, mention GameStop had a big move late in the day yesterday. GameStop earnings aftermarket tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, it's actually some news that will drive some of this, and it's Wish actually also has its lockup expiration on Monday, so you do have to pay attention to some of that. That trapped those shorts, man. I'm telling you, the timing of that for Wish is going to be pretty amazing, because there's people that are probably holding out thinking that Monday is going to bail them out, and when the lockup expires. I was actually, and shout out to the community here, because I saw a few people throwing CLVS out there. And as you know, and we're looking at Wish in the afternoon show, and of course we were watching and trading in some Clover as well, looking at that 22. And CLVS wasn't doing a heck of a lot. It rounded into this consolidation here off like 550, and it's just a short interest. It's cheap. I think that for some of these is enough to get it going. And then you think about like the risk to reward for people that are making that sort of trade. Like you put in like a 550 and you're saying, is it going to participate in the move when your downside could potentially be like recent support just below $5? That's like 10-15% down there, depending on where you decide to put a stop, if you're even going to have one, which I would always suggest, but that's just me. So some of these just sit around here and you get that blowout move on what wasn't a bad play. And at the time, it didn't look like much of anything, I'll be honest with you. So don't write any of these off, but just because it's a short squeeze name or just because it has a high short interest doesn't necessarily mean it's going to moon. But these days, you got to anticipate what other people are looking for and what other people are going to buy. So if you find something with that nice little consolidation off of a bottom, made a recent low, maybe has held that for a little bit, and has signs of a breakout, and then you have the high short interest, that could be sort of like that next idea there. And that's what CLVS was, and you guys were talking about it, so shout out to all of you.
All right, shout out to Wish shorters. I'm now short on Wish, so I wish for this thing to start going downside here. First position of the day here. Let's see where we go for this name. It just breaks through 15. Again, this is one thing that's on the sticky note, guys. So right here, we talked about it. I said this is one of the biggest BS moves, I think, is Wish right here. And like what Neil was talking about, the expiry is coming, the lockup's coming. So let's wait to see here where Wish goes. I'm super, I like Clovis to the long side. I mean, I like all these. I actually like Ride to the long side. We'll talk about why for that. But yeah, there's a lot of names moving. We are now short Wish, which is fine, into 15. We'll give it back. Honestly, I'm going to give this all the way back here to 16.25. So we're going to be averaging into this one all the way. So let's wait to see where this goes. But so far so good here. I mean, it's flat, but we got one position on. We're going to be putting a lot more on today, guys. So get ready. I've already sent out. We'll be putting on AMC through 53. So right now AMC looks like it wants to go as well. Back upside there. Going to test 53. That's again on the list. So we'll see if we can get that through 53. And yeah, let's get ready to rock and roll. Remember, it's not a full share size thing when you're trading here in the pre-market. We still have an hour before the market opens, and I'm already probably going to be in 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, going to be a busy pre-market here. Let's talk about Tesla here for a second, guys. I just saw Tesla pop back to the upside. We did get some selling that came into 602. I mean, a really choppy session yesterday for Tesla. It was down overall from the gap up that we saw in the pre-market. We are holding, though, back above 600 for Tesla. They did lose a rating when it comes to the Model 3 safety rating in the U.S. today, but nothing major as far as news is concerned for Tesla today. But this has been, a bit of a messy week for this stock.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has been. At least the good thing I'll say about Tesla, in so much as it's trying to hold that 600 level, and it just bounced again around those lows, is you look back to some of the things we talked about, maybe two levels on the way down, and that's about it. It was at 540 and then that 580 level. So you're not really, compared to everything else that's moving. Look, you're not gaining much when you buy at 580 here and you're sitting at 600, and every other EV that you bought at the same time would have given you better gains. That's certainly going to be true here. So let's not get too excited about this being up like 25 bucks from there. It's not that big of a move. You get another piece of somewhat negative news, and if Tesla's able to at least brush this one off, continue to hold these lows around that 540, 550, and then further consolidate, there is a chance the recovery could come. But at this point, you almost have to accept that right now, Tesla is not in that like big momentum group the way that it had been in the past. And I sort of fear, and it's not that I would say Tesla's like a Ford or GM, but I'd almost say what I was talking about yesterday, where until some of these other EV names, which are more heavily shorted and more heavily seen as current momentum, until that slows down, you might see Tesla, GM, Ford, like the bigger names, or in traditional names, seem to back down a little bit from momentum, and they might just slow back down. And as long as it holds these lows, I think there's going to be a nice little run, and you're looking for like a 650 break when that happens. So when the flush comes in, I think on potentially on some of these other high-flying names, I think that's the time that you're going to want to jump over at Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla's been good. I mean, we've talked about it, but I mean, the more negativity that comes into this name, the worse it's going to be. I mean, it's such a high-flying stock that, unfortunately, I mean, right now I'm just watching Wish, but it just went down there. We just had about 15 pennies and didn't take it. Yeah, no. So, anyways, bottom line about Tesla is I don't remember the last decent headline for them, so I think you got to hold on to your shares if you're into Tesla, and then just wait for the next best thing to come through, and it will. I still believe in them. I mean, I guess I can call it up here while I'm sitting here talking about it. I still believe in the company. I mean, I was lucky enough to buy split adjusted at 70 or something, down in March. I didn't even get involved in Tesla until it was like March of 2020, when I just was like, oh my God, this just went down too far. So I did get some out in December on that rebalance pop. And right now, it's just, like I said, it's kind of, I mean, for Tesla, this is kind of barcoding, like up and down 50 bucks. Like normally we expect it to be a little bit more than that, but I'm still not super worried. It's still up to 605. We had a big run yesterday. I mean, let's get worried when we start breaking some of these bottoms, man. Like let's get worried when we go back to November levels, like 550, 540, things like that. Until then, no. Like, I mean, whatever. This is going to be the best car. Like, my kids are 6 and 9 years old. They know one car company. If I were to ask them, I mean, I drive Volkswagen, but I would ask them, okay, what's one car company? They would say Tesla. So you got to keep that in mind, and you really have to, look longer term, I feel, with Tesla right now. So I think buying here is a fine price, but I would rather wait to see, let's get some positive headlines. Like, I'd rather buy this thing up another 5% and then, play with the momentum rather than, perhaps let your position bleed a little bit.
All right, great to see everyone joining us this morning. We are going to get through all of the squeeze stocks, or whatever you want to call them, here coming up in a few minutes. But let's take a second and kind of understand what else is going on in the market today, and what else could potentially provide you with some opportunities. And I speak of Fastly, guys. We saw a really impressive rebound for FSLY, up another 4% here in the pre-market. If you rewind to yesterday, remember there was that big outage that affected a number of monster websites all over the world, including Reddit at one point was completely down. CNN was another one. But we saw this huge move after they quickly identified the issue, found a resolution for it, and got rid of the problem. 4%, 3.8% here again today. One I feel that could give you another opportunity today.
Yeah, I mean, like, the people definitely, like, it's been beaten up, and we talk about those high-flying names that have made bottoms here, and you put that same context in off of support. I think someone was asking about it, and we talked about how nice that support was, and already starting to break that 50. The quick response is what everyone is loving here, like how quickly they're able to resolve that, and it just puts them back in the limelight. Now, it actually is trying to get through this 58 bottom that it put in, and that's that March low where it's a bunch of washouts. And look, when this level broke, you can see significance when that level broke. It was a floodgate down into like 35 to 40 guys. So this 58 is a big one. If it holds above there, you're starting to get back into momentum territory for this stock. The downside will be, like, if the overall market starts to slow down, you might get some chop, maybe like 10, 15% from here, but certainly a good look in Fastly, especially if it holds this 58 off of the open. There's going to be other stocks that move today. One of the things, and I want to quickly say this, Brennan, I look at what's going on with some of the shorted names here, and and talking about Wall Street bets, and I think about the other types of gap up plays, the ones that are going to be on actual news. And I looked at this AEMD. This is on our watch list, and I said to myself, okay, you have actually positive news here with a COVID treatment, and you're gapping up like from 220. It was ridiculous. AMD 220. It was actually up over $11 in the pre-market. I'm saying to myself, with everybody's focus in other meme stocks, is there going to be a ton of buying to hold one of these up? Normally a rollover play I'd look at, but it just feels like if one of these starts to go down, there might be a few less buyers. So I'm actually going to think about, sort of a little bit more active in this one than I would have normally been, because I had that belief. Now I can still break like a 950 area, and I would have to get out of this thing. But I'd probably just jump right back into it. And the idea that if these other memes are running to the upside, the squeezes are going to the upside, your traditional gap and run plays might not have as much run in them.
Yeah, we just got out now of, we got out of a third of Wish now, out now. I'm just posting it up because a lot of you guys want to see the positions I take, apparently. So I got some nice feedback again yesterday from our Twitter universe. So thank you guys for that. So there it is there. So you want to know, what positions I'm in, where I'm getting them out, what percentage, things like that, when we're taking out the big stick. And yeah, so Wish again. I wish we had more shares. I mean, that pun is going to get super old. It already is, and yet I'm still using it. This was a test trade for our system, so that's in and out flat. And right there, $15 downside. We just took it out at $14.76. So we were actually 70, yeah, so 21 cents. So a 21-cent winner. Now I don't even have any more bids out on this thing. I think Wish falls at least to 13 here. Let's just see how far we can go down on WISH. I want to short all the way back upside. But hey, guys, we're already starting off the day, so we're going to go 1 for 1 there. We're holding on to right now a 25-cent winner. Follow me, guys. Hit the sticky note up ASAP if you can, please, and thank you.
Wish going to be a good one for sure today. There's also this. We haven't even talked about Clover Health, guys. We have to talk about Wendy's a little bit today. Not as active here for Wendy's today, but definitely seeing some volume in the pre-market. We mentioned yesterday, if you joined us, I think the average volume, Sean, you were talking about it, 3 million shares per day or somewhere in that neighborhood. We were well above 20. I think it was even 30 million at the end of the day for Wendy's. So, very active again today here.
Yeah, it was 40. Yeah, it was 40 million there. And bye-bye, Wish. Let's go. It's belly dance time right now for Wish. We right away, right there, 50 cents in the money. So, yeah, we're living it pretty good right now on this side. But let's go over to Wendy's here today. Wendy's, $30. I like this long today, actually. It is on my list. But we need to break this $29.50 if we're going to do anything. Look, yesterday was a big move. Neil and I, Brendan, we've all talked about this. Bye-bye, Wish. Look, is it justified? No, it's not. It has nothing to do with their menu, nothing to do with the strawberry salad, nothing to do with the chicken tendies, but it's cool, and we're all on these names. And Neil mentioned it earlier, who cares what's moving the stock? That's almost irrelevant. If you own Wendy's, congratulations. You're going to get another bump today, I feel anyways, on that move. Here's $29.50 yesterday. That's the area that I'm looking at. It spiked up to there in the afternoon, failed. We closed at $28.22. I think they take it out, man. There's a lot of momentum socially on Wendy's. You know that. They also do have a great social media campaign out as well. Not about this particular play, but something fun to follow. I think they can play along with the Reddit crew. And you know what, man? Whatever. I'm hugely invested in McDonald's, have been for a very, very long time. I like the dividend. Obviously, I like what McDonald's is doing. But Wendy's has basically just done nothing. It's done exactly what it always does, is nothing. So once it breaks like that on good news, then yeah, you're going to get momentum to the upside. It's 3% short, so it's not a short squeeze. It's nothing to do with anything other than really it's trying to run this stock. And once again, congratulations to all that are on board with this. It worked. You guys win again. I got out of my stupid rocket calls yesterday, and now they're probably doubled in price. So It's frustrating. I never know really when to get out, but you never ever suffer when you take profits, so that's okay. But we're gonna be back today. I like Wendy's, man. I'm gonna be patient. I like it through that 29.50. There's the level right there. If it comes down to 28, I've already got my bids sitting there. So hopefully we can get a little longer on Wendy's. But yeah, 29.50, and we may do one of these on that play, guys. So, I think this is definitely worth it to go long on Wendy's today at that price, and worth using some decent shares. I actually believe all of these calls are really worth it today off the sticky note, so please go find them. The only problem is, it's like I said, I mean, how can you really go short like thousands of shares of anything in the pre-market? Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to answer my own question. 23 million shares right now done on Wish. So realistically, you can probably up your game on the share size.
Yeah, I mean, you look for the volume. That's the key. Like, some of these stocks are actually very, very liquid in the pre-market. Others maybe not so much. We try to tell you guys when that's the case. I took Wendy's when an iceberg at 29 broke. It was also a post-market level before a bit of a breakout at that price. This is just a 15-minute chart just to give you an idea of what this was doing off 25. And we had said, because of the positive news, the lack of movement when the earnings were pretty good, it couldn't break the top. And then you now have this 25 floor for swing. And I sat there and missed by 2 cents the bottom on the pullback, which is ridiculous. I don't want that to happen again, so I got in a bit early, and I'm going to be buying in front of that 28 level. There's another support at 27, which I happen to like, but I think that would likely be 2 separate day trades. I mean, Wendy's is a bit of a different beast here, guys. This is not about a short squeeze. This is a relatively healthy. Look, I'm not saying it's the best company in the world fundamentally, but there was some positive news and it wasn't moving. And if you have a long-term time frame, which I'm assuming a lot of people on Wall Street Bets can hang on to things forever, then you have to ask yourself, like, what's going to drive this down? Like, why would you, if you got long on this breakout and you actually think this company is going to be fantastic, and you love all the press they're about to get, and everyone thinking about eating Wendy's, because I'm thinking about it, because all we're doing is talking about it. So I kind of feel like this could be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's a bit of a different story here than some of the other names, whereas the downside risk simply isn't as big or even close to as big in a Wendy's.
I just let's just come back here quickly, because I have Kelvin here asking me, what's up, Kelvin? Look, I like playing around and discussing everything with you guys on here. So what's going on with PLTR? My response: leave it for now, okay? We don't need to do, hey, what up, Rick? Thank you so much for that. Where do we find the sticky note? Nope, that didn't work. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to give that to you in one quick second here. Just go over to my profile here. I'll give you my profile. Valeria probably has it as well. There we go. Just go over there. I pinned it to the top. You'll also see my Wish trade there. Okay, but that's about Palantir. So, all right. Yeah, what I was going to say is just leave it, okay? Leave Palantir. You would think, Sean, how are you going to leave it when you lit it up like a Christmas tree yesterday? Look, I'm here to make money, and I'll trade it. And when you see me in it, then we'll get into it, okay? But it needs to be off key levels. And honestly, man, until we see this 24, I may just do exactly that. I may just leave this thing. Let's wait to see if we can get longer at 24. But look what's happening in the afternoon. This is a whole hell of a lot of nothing, right? And I mean, look what's happening here right now. It's just kind of chilling out above the 50-period moving average. Look, we absolutely love Palantir. It's one of my largest holdings. It might be in my swing account, actually. Ford may be up there as well now. DraftKings is there. But anyways, okay, the point is that right now we're kind of doing nothing here, and Palantir is a Cathie Wood stock. It can be a Reddit stock. It's always top 10 on Reddit, but if it's not doing anything, then I think we need to move away, because like I said, if it's always top 10, it's probably not there today. You got to leave stock. There's so many more names that you can look for to trade today that I think you need to pick your poison. If you like Palantir as a day trade, go ahead and do it. It's just, I think right now, as far as movement is concerned, we had this, like, look where I'm involved. I mean, talk about, this is the only real, there's a nice move here, right, for sure, right? But the show's over, and unfortunately we're doing other things here. But that is a big move there. But look, we're trading it when it's moving. I just don't see that happening right now with Palantir. Sorry about that, Brendan. There's so many names to get to.
Yeah, going to be a busy morning. Few notable upgrades and downgrades here for you guys to talk about. Airbnb. People starting to travel again. So Airbnb has been positive over the past couple of days. Loop Capital raising their price target on that. Another travel-related name, Norwegian, back on here today. Marathon Energy, and I'm not even sure what that is. Dish, JP Morgan. Dish has been pretty negative over the past couple of days. JP Morgan cutting their price target on that. And another energy name on this side, guys, Valero.
Yeah, and look, speaking of Airbnb, it's flat today, but we're going to be watching for this 150 to 153 level in upcoming sessions here, just for a potential break. I mean, you do have a bit of a roof at 165, which could be looming here, but it does give you a solid move, at least for the day trade, if not the swing. And like you said, people are going to be traveling. I mean, the hotels are probably a good look as well, but Airbnb certainly going to catch a bit of that momentum. The weather's getting nice. People want to get out. They've been pent up, so worth a watch. I don't necessarily think this is going to jump off the page and be better than anything that we're looking at in meme world today. But in terms of activity, in terms of volatility, but I do like that level, that 150 to 153 for a bit of an entry point. I just want to just to go over to Clover just for a quick little second here. Clover is just bouncing off of this like 2650. I just wanted to quickly throw in there. If this one does do a pullback, which it's trying to take out this top here, and I have a 2830 for a top break to go long. We were looking at top breaks yesterday. I'll like a top break today. But if we resist it, which it looks like it's about to do a bit of a rollover, there's a 26.5 test that we can have here, and then another one at 25. And I'd like the dip on either one of those levels, if not just both of them, depending on what we actually get in the next 30 minutes or so. Clearly, there's no guarantee that you can get along in front of 25 or 26.5. But both of those I'll be standing in front of, and then looking for that 2830 breakout as well.
Yeah, my Clover stuff is on the sheet here, so you guys can find that on the sticky note. Look at Rocket, another name that's not on my list, but should be up another 6.5%. I own the Commons, 1920, so that's good. I did have options yesterday. I got out of them yesterday, thinking that this always gets caught up with a meme stock craze or squeeze craziness. It is a shortable stock. It does have. I mean, it was nice. I held the stock through the dollar dividend, so we got that as well. So that's a good one. But yeah, I like this stock now today, breaking through 2280. So we're going to get lit up on Rocket if that does go through 2280 as well. I have a lot of positions ready to go, man. My stop orders, like my conditional orders to get fired off when conditions are met, are loaded right now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them in there all ready to go. So if I get triggered in the pre-market, I'll get it. It won't be heavy shares. I'm hoping that Rocket can hit us on open there. I don't like to play breakouts. I would rather it come down a little bit and we can watch it and then it'll break. But I'm not going to stand here and watch it rip. So if it does go up, we do like that 2280 break on RKT. And then people are saying, not people are saying, I know there's a lot of people that want to talk about AMC, and we will. And I love AMC. It's one of the big stocks for us. It's one of my, a number one stock for both of us here lately. But there's that 53 level. I mean, we wrote it right down here, right on sticky note. 53 was the break that we were looking for there, and 52.80 it stopped at. So maybe that's the new break level. I'm still looking at 53, so you'll see me trigger long as soon as 53 breaks, and then we'll see if we can have some fun after that. So right now, only Wish short, but looking to get long AMC, long Clover, long Wendy's, long Ride, trying to go long everything except for Wish.
Let's get into a few of these, few other names that we've not discussed yet. Here's Clovis Oncology. I just wanted to update this number here, guys. The short interest percent that I see, 30.06 on CLVS. Yup, 28% here in the pre-market. It's already made a decent move, 680 up to about 760. But we're getting into, some levels on the daily chart, but I'm not even sure those even matter anymore.
No, look. Remember, those are the pure estimates, and when it comes to the short levels, and then some of the levels in a longer time frame might not matter as much as well. So some things you gotta take with a grain of salt. When you're talking about the momentum plays, I think you look at the more obvious places on the chart. I mean, there was just a bit of a dip. Maybe you're worried a little bit about some of these companies are going to start. We've already seen it. You're going to start to see offerings and things of that nature, guys. So do be careful just sort of sitting out there with bids to the downside. If you see something too crazy or it's too far away from your bid, sometimes canceling it isn't the worst idea in the world. But Clovis, if you like it for a pullback, you always look at these break prices after 8 o'clock on volume. It already made one bounce off 7 here. I would probably stay away from it only because I'm trying to catch dips in multiple stocks at the same time. So adding like a Clover, if they all come down, some of these squeeze names at the same time, do I want to be catching 4 bids instead of 1 or 2 in the names that I really like? So, it's not that bad looking at this 7 in that cluster here at like 680 or so on a CLVS, but you won't necessarily see me do it because, I'll be over there catching a bid on Wendy's and catching a bid on Clover before I try it over here in Clovis. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Most of these patterns are going to look the same.
Yeah, I'm just going to take an 8 break. So let's just move on from this one. I don't really know. Like we mentioned, it's 30+% upside, short side, sorry. So, I I don't know, to me it's pretty obvious. Thank you to Maggie for grabbing my water because I forgot it. And now as I throw back to Brendan, we're gonna take some vitamins. They're expiry. Okay, good, not yet. 2022. So we'll stay legit. What up to Shakib? What up to Hydration Nation? Stay hydrated, guys. It's gonna be a big show. Let's get ready to rock and roll with a half hour until go time.
Yes, we are getting towards 30 minutes. Let's jump into the overall market. We'll bring Arun in here, check out the futures, understand a little bit about what's happening from a bigger perspective here, Arun. We were talking about all-time highs yesterday. Here we are again today, the third day in a row, just still in this choppy mess.
Yeah, we're at the same price point, just above these 42.30 mark. And last time we've been here, the last two times we've been here, we've fallen off. There's a decent amount of selling up here in front of this all-time high that sits at 42.38 quarter, so stops around 42.40 or so. We are less than 10 points away, but there's a lot of action here on the sell side just above here. So what I'm going to look to do is, well, before I do that, yesterday we fell down into this 42.10 area. There was a lot of support down there, and that's the area I was looking for potential longs. Now that move has continued. It was strong all day in the afternoon, and then overnight was the best chance for us to kind of break that trend or that idea. No, it hadn't. It found more support down in the mid-20s. So I think anytime we get back into these 30s, you have to be aware that there is selling, but at the same time, there is some buy strength from underneath. So I'm going to look to see if we can get a dip maybe into the high 20s. I'm looking for maybe 27, 28, somewhere in that price point. And then if I can get it long around there and use the 17, 18 mark or so, again, that depends entirely on action. I know the stop is going to be below 20. I just don't know exactly where. So I'm going to say somewhere around 17, 18, depending on how the action goes. I just want to see that there's no more support down there. So if I decide, well, I've actually got a bid down just in front of 27, I believe. Yeah, just in front of 27. I'm looking for a long there. If I can catch it off the open, that'd be great. I like the long. I like the bias, but I am a little, I guess, hesitant in these 30s because of the amount of selling. But given the risk reward ratio, right? If I take 27s on risk 17, I'm risking about 10, maybe some slippage, call it 12. To the upside, I've got 40. That's about 12, 13. So 1-to-1 risk reward ratio in this type of situation, that's what I'm looking for. I like the price point, so I'll go ahead and take a shot at there and see if we can finally get going on this break to the upside, because every time we get up there, we do hesitate. But maybe today's the day, Brennan.
All right, good stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Just seeing a headline here, guys, on Zoom. Zoom Video Communications here launching something they're calling a phone appliance. I feel like that's from a museum or something along those lines, but Zoom Video launching a phone appliance. There's not much, to say the least, as far as response to that from the stock, but we'll keep an eye on Zoom here going forward. Let's jump back into some of these squeeze stocks, whatever you want to call them today. We talked about a number of them already. GameStop, though, guys, popped up late in the day yesterday. A whole bunch of volume came back into GME. It's worth noting for anyone just joining us, people still joining us as we speak, GME earnings aftermarket tonight, guys.
I would say, when my gut says I'm going to get stopped out of the AEMD, so hold it all along, scalp it off, and then we're going to get that break at 950. I still like that one. I'll probably jump back in at 930, but I want to say I'm likely to stay away from GameStop today. I think it's sort of an easy, it can be an easy punt unless there's a big move with the earnings coming up here. And, the daily chart not going to be as good as the 15-minute to give you an idea of the spike and fall this had, and that's you can sort of see what happened. This is right off of the open. You get into that 350 mark and then it fails. So, unless you're breaking out here and then testing that top and then catching a bit of a roll over there, or you get any shot at this like 280 level, 280 to like 285, I think there's going to be a few hotter names here that you don't necessarily have to worry about the fundamentals. GameStop, I think this is going to be very, very interesting for the afternoon show, definitely. The only levels I'm really going to like is if there is like a halt down situation where you can take like a 280, and I love halt downs, by the way, when trading some of these names off that 280, that would be a good one. And then anything testing 350 to the upside. Otherwise, I'm going to be, it's going to be Clover, like you said, it's going to be Clover for me. It's going to be some trading in some Wish. It's going to be trading a little bit of AMC as well. Just because it's been my bet stock this week, I got to stick to some AMC. And GameStop is likely to fall by the wayside. But anyone that wasn't aware of the earnings, sometimes with these pure momentum plays, it's easier to just stay away from the news and the fundamentals. Like in GameStop, like I wouldn't be surprised if it did more barcoding than you expected, than you would have thought going into earnings today, based on how much it moved yesterday.
Thank you already. Already 121 likes, 11 retweets, and 9 retweets, 11 comments on the sticky note, and I think I've answered them all. The one thing is here, guys, there's all these people asking for my opinion on everything here in the chat. Rocket, crypto, any birdies yesterday? No. Couple pars, pretty good day. We had tons of fun. Short interest here from Monkey, and then another thing here about MindMed from you, Marlon. Look, I can't answer them all and trade and host and look at all this stuff. So just keep the questions coming as I see them. If I'm able to handle them, I will. And then we'll talk about MindMed quickly here because that was one thing. It's on our watch list, and we just talked about it. Look, J.R. Ron stepped down. We don't really know much about this. He is a friend of the family here at Daytrade the World and here at Trader TV Live. So we'll just wait to see if we get any news about it. But people are calling it a pump and dump. I mean, I don't know if they're really pumping anything. I mean, this is a brand new industry, and we had a guy on yesterday from Haven, and it's just, it's a new place. It's going to go through these wild rides. Obviously, this bump up here was completely known when they got listed back over to NASDAQ, so there's really no surprise there with MindMed. And, I own the shares, but, no, they're not in trouble or anything, but I do think that you got to watch out for this $3 level, man. You break this 3, and we could be in a little bit of trouble here on MindMed. So just watch out for that. There is a big seller there. And hey, trade your own stuff. But I do think, okay, there's Wendy's. So we pick up Wendy's now long. So we're starting into our position. We talked about where we wanted Wendy's, why we liked it, where the levels were. I wanted to pick it up back into this 28. Otherwise, look. No problem if Wendy's fails on this. I mean, this is not going to be a big hit for us. I didn't want to go long until we broke through yesterday's 29.50 level, or if we could get back down and around here. Why is this important, this level? Because I'm really trying to focus on this 27.50 area. So I want to start to build a position right now on Wendy's, and here it goes. It's already a dime piece in the money. We want to get a lot more than that. So here it goes now, 20 cents in the money. So this is how you trade the pre-market. How about 30 cents in the money now? So 30 cents in the money now for Wendy's off of a good price, and 30 cents in the money now for Wish. So right now, guys, this is what we're doing. This is how we are. Welcome to tradertv.live. Let's go.
You see both Wendy's, AMC as well to the downside this morning. Let's have a look at this one, guys. Clover Health here, 24% as well, similar to Wish, but holding up nicely above some key levels. In fact, 700+ million shares traded yesterday on the big move to the upside. Here we go again. We're basically right here at pre-market highs.
Yeah, and look, if you look at what's happened in Clover, there was that wipeout, but it wasn't at the open in yesterday's action. It's now like day 3 into the move, if you want to call it. I mean, day 2 was obviously the bigger day. That's no question about it. But we're day 3 into the move, and it hasn't really had that big wipeout at the open type of trade. And we saw that. We have seen that in AMC, and this has now taken over the role of what AMC is in terms of the momentum and the amount of volume that it's going to be doing. So I am looking for that dip. For support, like we said, is going to be that 26.50 area. There is a top here at 28.30 for a breakout that I do like, but each day that this goes without one of those flushes to the downside, I'm going to start hunting for that move. And the ones I really, really love, post open, sort of resisting halt. So like it gets to that 10% in a minute or two, and then it just bounces off. And I love those longs. If it does halt to the downside, if Clover halts to the downside, I'm looking for that first reopen that's going to hold levels. The reverse of that trade I do when the stock is halting to the upside, where I'm just looking for it to basically give me a failure at that price to continue, and then I go long in this case off of a dump in front of that whole price. When I do it in short side, it's basically the same setup, but it was my best trade at AMC when it happened there, and I'm looking for Clover to do that at some point here again today. But we'll always be talking about it. If it does dumps, we'll be sort of live going on saying, hey, it's falling right here. This is where the target is. If it halts, I'll give you the plan as it goes.
All right, so we just took it out there on Wendy's there. We took out a nice little 30-cent win there, long 40s, out 78s or so 75, so 25 cents or so if that math is correct. No, why am I shortchanging myself? 32-cent win right there on a third. So now we can hold, man. We're already doing this, man. The cash cow's already coming. And by the way, let me just check my watch here. Oh yeah, the market's not even open yet, and we're already cashing in. So let's keep the party going here with Wendy's long, Wish short. We're just getting started.
22 minutes to go before we get underway here for a Wednesday. Let's talk about Ride. We were sitting here in the afternoon, on the afternoon show. In fact, guys, join us every day at 3:15. When this happened, this stock went from 1550 all the way down to 1050 and kind of hung out near some key levels on the daily chart right at the end of the day. If you missed it, they came out, basically said they don't have enough money to make that car. So that car or SUV or whatever you want to call it will most likely not see the light of day ever. Here we are again, down 4.5% from where we ended the session yesterday.
Guys, I mean, this is not new news for Ride here. This is why I want to go long on this name. We've already known about this. They've already said that they couldn't do this. We know they're cash strapped. To me, this is nothing new. It does come right back down to its 50-period moving average. I mean, imagine if this was actual news, how low this thing would go. So I'm not, I don't know where it's going to go in the next little while. It could go to zero. Based on how the market's reacting to this, to me, this is, something that's known. It's just now it's official, right? They got a warning from the NASDAQ there that if they don't file a 10K, then they were, possibly going to be delisted. Obviously, they don't want that to happen, so they got to get the jargon in there, and they did, right? I mean, look, imagine if this was an actual thing. Like, do you think that we would just be here in the last 2 hours trading from 1070 to 1070? So for me, either I'm completely missing something or I think this is a long. So I'm going to go long through 1150. It's 30% short interest. And to me, man, I believe this is a long from this level. But again, I don't know about the longer term aspect here. I'd rather play, and this is going to sound crazy, but I mean, I'd rather play the long than the short in this thing. I mean, if we get back up, fine. We could short up here. I mean, there's no problem with that if we can get anywhere like this, because already 14, 15 was already a little bit of an area of concern right here, right? It's not like Fisker or anything that's just like up and away. This one did have some problems. It stopped. They've already filed. We already knew about this. So for me, it's almost a nothing. It's only like 1 million shares. The move was yesterday. If you had it in the afternoon, that's great. If you didn't, then you don't, and we'll wait for 1150. That's my take on this one. But hey, I've been wrong many times before.
Yeah, one of the things we're talking about this before we came on air, guys, just so you know, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that had Ride not made this, if these EV names had not made these pushes to the upside, I don't think you get that reaction that it had. Nothing, like Sean said, nothing about it was new. They just were forced to put different wording in by the auditors, and then when you hear going concern, that's what caused that bit of a flush. Now, I said it, this has gone full blown, like, you know what? If Ride closes above $15, or like technically $15.40, where that move happened, then things have gone absolutely crazy. I can pretty much promise you this: if we see 15, I am going to be short in front of it. I shorted a 1450 to 1470 area. That was what I was looking for off of the reopen. I took it out way too early. I don't think you see that price today. But if you do see it, you're probably going to see me jump into a short, and I am going to have it out just above that 1540 where the flush happened. I mean, there was a top here at like 1575, so that's where you want to put a stop in and around there. I don't think we're going to get there. It seems rather unlikely to me. Waiting around for like an 1155 break, it does seem a little bit crazy on the long. If you are taking like an 11 break, I think you got to have a bit of a stop, because there is still a chance. This thing never really got through 10. If this breaks 10, it still doesn't have a chance to make a bigger flush to the downside, because 6 is a bit of a low. So, there are some concerns that maybe people don't want to jump into this one. So I would have a tighter stop on any longs that you take on Ride, especially that 11-1 at the open. I don't want the long off the open on this stock. I think I'm going to have Clover, very likely going to have Clover here. So we'll stick to that one. But Ride, it looks pretty good. I'm not shorting it until it gets to like probably 14 bucks.
Okay, let's talk about this SPI Energy here real quick, because this is one that has given you a short squeeze in the past. If you go all the way back to, this is September of last year. Remember, the stock, guys, went from about 95 cents to $46. So this is a renewable energy company. One of their divisions, or one of the companies that they own, is in the electric vehicle space. And they launched their latest edition of a drivetrain that they've been making for years. specifically for electric vehicles. So that seems to be this 36% move for SPI today. I mean, this thing has done nothing since that, September move that we saw last year, but 12.25 on the top, about $5 on the bottom in this daily chart range right now. But we're back towards the top end for SPI.
Yeah, there was this one level here, like around like 975, 10, and so the fact that you're turning around off that does give you a little bit of something. But this is not necessarily barcoding. Someone asked in the chat, I want to let you guys know what's the difference between barcoding and consolidation. Like barcoding is consolidation on crack, right? So consolidation might be just hanging around in a short term for like 10, 15 minutes and making a break. Barcoding is when you extend like 3, 5, 10 times the time duration, and then you just get absolutely no movement for a longer period of time. That's barcoding. Can lead to some better breakouts, to be sure, but I'm probably not going to look at this one unless it's that 930 rollover play. So I'd look back to that 975 that I just talked about on the daily chart there. If it gets up to that price, I think that's where I'd be looking for a fail. But given the lack of volume, it doesn't feel like this thing wants to make that kind of a move in the next 10 to 15 minutes or at 930. I just wouldn't write it off.
All right, thank you to Shakib, the hydrated one. Yes, let's get hydrated. I just gave a big thank you to you for helping us with all the likes. And he's right, man. We have 7,000 people watching. Let me just check out our like situation here. 1.2K. It's not bad, but let's see if we can get to 2 or 3 before the market opens. If you're watching it, you like our watch list, it's free, watchlist.tradertv.live. I think we've already talked about that today. So that's there. My sticky note is there as well. Neil's busting out some knowledge for us. So, I mean, there's lots of stuff happening, guys. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and definitely come back and watch us every single day. I mean, we're going to talk about all these names. We just don't sit here and pound the table about AMC, but we need to look at AMC because, again, fool's gold not to. You're down 6% right now. I still like this 53 break. It's the only order that I have out right now. How much was that? 1,500 for that little walk?
16.
16 already. Guys, thank you so much. I have Valeria sitting beside me. She's loving all this action. Thank you again to Shakib. There we go, 1.7 now. Thank you guys so much. It just means a lot to us. Okay, so AMC $50, maybe. We've talked about 50 a couple times here. You're gonna have to look at let me call up a 20-minute chart here for you, just to give a leather look on AMC right now. Okay, this is the last time we sort of had a panic move was just a couple days ago, back June 4th. And we did tank in the pre-market, and then that's aftermarket. And then the pre-market we opened up around this 47, and then took off and saw later on that day 59 and 60. So as you can see, 60's been a top here for the last couple days. Wish back down now. Wendy's still, everything's still in the money. But looking longer term here, this is why I wrote down 40 is going to be a problem. I don't know if we get down to there, so that's a little bit of an aggressive target. But what about this level right here, 47? So this is probably a pretty good buy level. It held right here on the 4th. This is the key thing here in the pre-market and the aftermarket. So we held 47. So I think that's worth looking at. You also do have a moving average here, 200 period, moving average here on the 20 minutes. So there's a lot of stuff. 200 periods more for a daily chart, but there is some protection here. And I think 47 is maybe an area, but you got to go long at 50. So if this comes down to 50, we'll have an order sitting there, and then we'll see the pin action once it gets to 50. Remember, I really do believe, although this is not a short squeeze anymore, I do believe that there are obviously options at 50, both ways, puts and calls, right? So there could be a lot of volume at the $50 level. That's an area of concern for me. And there it is right now, guys. I mean, that's an area I want to go long. But there it is right there, 1.9K. So we're almost at 2,000. And to me, that's a spicy. So thank you so much, guys, for all that.
Absolutely, guys. And look, we're going to try to talk about as many of these memes. I know people are asking about workhorse. We're not ignoring any of them. It's just, look, there's obviously going to be a lot. We have to stick to what we think are going to be the best trading opportunities. Workhorse here, it did make a hard top, and we've tested this now. Like, this is 1745, guys, but call it like 1750. Pre-market 1765. We've tested it a couple of times off the open, so this does set up for another bit of a break. Now, there was all kinds of bid support down at like $15. So on the event that there is a flush, I mean, you can certainly stick, like if AMC breaks that 50 level, let's say, there's going to be a chance to get that 15 on something like a workhorse, guys. So I do favor a Clover, which is still sort of hanging around that 27 area to workhorse. But things would have to get pretty deep on the pullback. But look at how obvious some of these levels are and what we're trying to do here. Afternoon top is 1690. pre-market support at 1690 before bouncing and then failing at the actual high. So some of these ranges, they're just rinsing and repeating. So if you're scalp trading, you have to be looking at some of these, and they're going to be important, especially at 9:30 if you're trying to buy the dip, guys. You got to have an idea where your stop is going to be relative to it. Probably give it, at least, if you're going to have a stop, like 10, 15 extra cents, because it's always likely to tick through before any kind of a bounce, or wait for it to bounce at that price and then just get it on the way back up in front of it. A lot of times that's the way that I would prefer to get in. Workhorse does look pretty good. I'd be all over it at that 15, or probably at least like 50 cents in front of it, maybe if not 60 or 70 pennies in front of that $15 range on any pullback. And yes, you do have a breakout, that 17.65 level as well.
The other one we haven't mentioned yet, and also need to, is this one, guys. BlackBerry trading down again. Decent volume in the pre-market, but volume overall down from the past couple of days, but about 3%. So similar to AMC on that front, as it seems, as we've been mentioning, focus kind of shifting away from a few of these symbols to some of the new ones that have popped up that we've mentioned already. But here we go with BlackBerry, guys. We're around this 15 level again that we've been talking about for the past couple of days.
Yeah, I was just looking here. We tried to, did we reload on Wish there? What was this price there? We did get a 1469 there reload on Wish, and it goes down to 1450. But okay, let's just talk about BlackBerry right now. Look, to me, this name, it worked. They got it going. It was great. I mean, you're up 50% or so from a week ago, or from May, whatever, beginning of June, from 9.30, $8 up to 16, 17, up to 20 there. So it worked. I just don't think they're interested in this name anymore. I don't see the interest upside here. If it wants to break 17, then fine. But for me, BlackBerry has already had its run. And if you're waiting for this meme stock to get going, or this short squeeze to get going, I think you could just find better. But I mean, look, the runs happened. This is just yesterday, right? Or this is June 7th. What day is it today? Yeah, June 9th. So 2 days ago. Big move to the upside right there. Is today June 9th? Yeah. A big move to the upside right there. Then a fall. And then yesterday, kind of opposite. Starts low, gets going, ticks 17, then falls all the way down to 15, and then does this all afternoon. So for me, BlackBerry is going to be a sell. I just need to find the right levels. And right now, I just have too many other things on my mind. But here's not a horrible level. We're close to it right now. What about a 15.23 sell here on BlackBerry? We'll call up a 20-minute chart, and yeah, I mean, a 15 break maybe. I'll probably regret this, not trading BlackBerry today. I've done too much work and looking at too many other names here to trade BlackBerry. But hey, it's a great name, and congratulations anybody still long this. Hopefully you have a chance to get out higher. I wonder if the focus is elsewhere right now. That's all.
I tend to agree. Sorry, just take a sip of water there. I tend to agree with you. If something isn't moving and doing the volume, you have to understand that money is jumping in and out of some of these names into what is going to be next. Just sort of noting here, we talked about the news on MindMed. It's actually bouncing a little bit, but this could be one on the radar. I feel like if it does make a jailbreak at like 350, there was all kind of resistance up at that 3/4 mark. So I am going to have it on my radar. It's not something that I think we're going to jump into and immediately trade, but it could be a decent one there, guys. I just also wanted to talk about quickly, with only like 10 minutes to go. This CKPT, the checkpoint, is on our watch list, and like I said, some of these faders, gap and fade trades, I think might have a little bit more sell action. AEMD, we started early doing well on it, then we got blown out. I'm back in off the high of the day, but I'm looking for that 930 push on CKPT up into this 420 to 430 area. And I actually have an order sitting here, so if it makes that spike up, I want to be able to get into a short, then catch a rollover. But this has been fading all morning long. It got from like 520 all the way down to 160, so no guarantees that it continues this move, but it's done it once in the past here, Brennan.
All right, I was going to mention that AEMD as well. So they have a blood treatment that they're looking at as a possible COVID therapeutic for critically ill patients with COVID-19. So yeah, 375% for this one so far this morning. Just be aware, this is very thinly traded. If you look at the daily chart here, it did pop up a couple of days ago on rumors of this test beginning. So now it has officially begun. Monster volume yesterday. We're significantly higher today. Very thinly traded though, so give yourself lots of room here. 11 and then 12 is really all I have for this thing. Above that, I mean, it could go. Big volume though in the pre-market here, guys, for this one.
Yeah. I know Neil was short out of it. Thank God. It looks like he's trying to rip up there. Okay, so Wish just did touch 1430 there. This was actually a mistake. I thought I thought it was Wendy's there for a minute. This is what I mean. I need to focus. I have too many W names short right there. It's trying to buy some more Wendy's, but instead we got out of some Wish. So mistake. It's fine. We still have. That was such a small spot. We still have a lot of shares here on. Not a lot, but we have enough. Wish we had more. Obviously, the call right here, guys, off of the sticky note. Hopefully, you're able to join and get that $15 short break. Unfortunately, I did call that move BS yesterday to the upside. This is not a great company, in my opinion, and the stock has told you exactly that. They IPO 20, they ripped to 32. Great move there, and then it's like, okay, Reddit? So to me, that's just, it's not a recipe for success. And Neil mentioned it, and I didn't even know about it. So the lockup's coming on this stock as well. So hey, if there's an easy trade today, to me, it is Wish. So that's all. I just wish that happened pre-market. We're going to short this thing. Let's let it open up, man. Rip against me, Wish. That's the best thing that could happen for me right now. I've already cashed in, and then I want to get a hell of a lot more short. I called this up because I want to talk about this. Omar, I didn't even know what it was. No green hair. Wait, no green hair will be good. Miss V for 5 likes. I don't know what that means.
Well, no, so there's a thing.
She'll go to green hair.
No, she said she'll go to green hair, but the question is it 5K likes or 6K likes? Is it 5,000 or 6,000?
Look,
so
guys,
it's 6,000. Get to 6,000 and Valeria's coloring her hair green. That's what it is.
Is it? Do you want to do green though?
Well, guys, it's your choice. I can even do rainbow for you if you want.
What?
Like all the different.
Valeria, I was
Rainbow?
Likes is the price.
I was going to go the other way. I was going to say let's let Valeria choose the hairstyle, but she's letting you 6,000. All you guys have to do, I cannot believe. Valeria, I mean, me and Valeria are good friends, but I can't believe she said that. So I'm going to pump it now that she did. So look, you guys can get this to 6K. Like everyone watching right now, you want to see Valeria in some crazy hair. Whoa, good thing that coffee didn't spill. Wow. We just get to just, if you're watching now, just push like. That's all you have to do. And if you're not pushing like for that, then push it for something else. What about Wendy's right now, 50 cents of the money? What about Wish? Just keep reloading and getting to the downside. So, hey, look, if it's not for trades, let's get it for V with some crazy hair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't believe she'll do the rainbow. Step it up a game. Step it up at that game. Look, Clover just came down into that 26.50, so I'm going to cancel this order. I was sitting just in front of that bid. You can see it bounced twice. I didn't get it. So I don't want that fill if it's breaking this 26, now 65. I still want to buy that dip if I get it. We still like the 28.30. We got about 4 minutes to go here, guys. So I'm going to hold off until the open. We just hit 3,000 likes, so it's getting wild. It's getting crazy. The market looks like it's going to be giving us some obviously fantastic opportunities here. I think that goes without saying. Some of you guys that are watching that CLVS, I know we're trying to cover everything. This looks exactly like that Clover chart. The only difference is that $7 level looks like it is also a bit of a hold. If this breaks, look back to that 660 area. So the dip buy can be on in multiple names here if you do like them. I'm holding off and adding any Wendy's until the actual open, in which case I want to buy in front of 28, and I want to add on the top of 29, guys, because 29 is the level I love.
Guys, the money bags are coming through again. We just took another piece out on Wendy's there, right ahead of 29. So there it is, man. Another 50-cent win. So bang, bang, bang. We do like 29.50 break. So that's all locked and loaded. Yeah, I mean, get the likes for her hair. Get the likes for a good show. I think that we're doing this. So I think this has been a monster. We're here. We have 215,000 subscribers. We've been here for, I don't know, a year and a bit now. And we're ready to rock and roll, and we're ready to go longer. We're not taking days off. We're not doing anything like that. We're going to be here. This is not going to switch channels. We're going to keep talking about the big wins for you and the big stocks, just like this Wish trade. Trying to get to the downside here. I do have a bid. My only bid right now is 1406. So that's to let you know where I think this stock's going. And then Wendy's right now, man, already a 55-cent winner. We've already talked about that. So, hey, with only 2.5 minutes to go right now, let's just keep the party going, man. We already have them all. I'm locked and loaded on Wish, Clovis. I'm locked and loaded on Rocket. We're ready for Lordstown Ride. We're loaded on Wendy's. We're loaded on Clover. And we're loaded on AMC. So, hey, I'm ready to fire them off. Hopefully we can fire off some hot dogs for you and not the other way around. And who knows, man, maybe we need a hot dog cannon firing off some chicken tendies as well. That's not horrible, but we do have that.
Well, then it's a tendy cannon. You can't call it a hot dog cannon if it's throwing those tendies out there,
Yep,
guys. But I'd be
yep.
happy to see that one, Rob, if you can make that magic happen. I know we put you on the spot all the time, but that would be a good one to get some chicken in there. This AEMD, I'm going to get some bids out. You got to have a stop. Every trade has to have a stop. And if you don't stop out at 9:35, like I said, and I'm always like literally showing you guys where I'm stopping out at a short, which is probably dumb, but it goes all the way to $11. That's $1.50 that you don't want to be giving up. That is like a 10 to 15% that is just ridiculous to take the hit on. I do want to come back to the open here, and we're going to be looking for me primarily at Clover, as it's going to try to take out this 28.30 off the open, and then we're looking to buy that bit of a dip. I'm going to be looking at Wendy's. Ride 11, I don't think is happening. We're actually back down at $10, guys. So Lordstown looks like it's taking out the bottom. I mean, look, I said watch out for that 10 bottom. I thought I'd be going long today, but I might take a quick shot at a momentum play at 10, but I don't like that at 9:30. That almost smells like a trap. If that would have been after the opening print, I think maybe a little bit better, but it smells a little bit like a trap over in Lordstown. It looks like Clover is the one that's going to try to take the top off from what I can see.
All right, just hydrating with some coffee there. My coffee's still like 99% water. I don't know. But okay, so Wish, we're gonna get reloaded on that one. We did talk about that. We're gonna watch on some AMC as well. Wish, my offers right now are 15, 20, 15, 60, so on and so forth. So if it does come back up, but here goes AMC. Let's check back quickly before we only have 30 seconds to go. On the imbalance locator, we haven't done this yet. AHT looking to take out tops. There's AMC as a small sell. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing on there. There's my Rocket. We are looking at Rocket. I think that's an important one to watch here. Off open 2280 to blow out to the upside. I can't believe I dropped the options, but I'm one of you guys, man. I play options. I play everything. Let's go. Coinbase right now, downtime. Okay, we'll figure that out. Rocket, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
and one.
There you go. Normal haired Miss V. All right, 2280 is the spot here for Rocket. Not open. Yeah, it's open now, so we'll wait to see where that's going. There goes Clover. Let's go. Long already, 50 cents in the money.
Yeah, Clover right away off that break, but it goes to, that didn't happen. It didn't go to $30, guys. 28.41, I got it 28.30, but it slams right back to the downside. So you're gonna get this chance to maybe buy a dip in front of 28 even. Oh, of course, keystroke error, so I don't even get it. Get in front of 28 even. It just slammed back down. I don't think this happened. I don't think it got to 29.27, 29.79. That's ridiculous. You got to come back into 27. They're fading off here, and I'm watching Wendy's try to take the top off as well and fail as well. So gonna see if we can hold off. Calm down. Look at this 26.50 level. If it cannot hold that bid, I'm going to be dipping out of Clover.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing, man. If it can't hold that, we got to get out. That's 26.50 here on Clover. So we'll wait to see if that holds. Doesn't look like it's going to. We are also long AMC here. So lots to talk about right now. Long AMC, long Clover. Both not working now, but hey, the day is young.
Yeah, exactly. And I just got that AEMD. Remember that one? So we stop out of that one the first time. It's now testing the high. No average ins at 9:30. I never try to do that, guys. If it then holds a top, which it just did at 11.80, and then tries to roll back over, that's the entry point. So it's not about getting the best price. To me, it's about getting the setup that I like. So I don't take any more shares until we get that setup. So we're right back here at 10.90. Here's the top, guys. The top is at 11.80. So you do have to give yourself at least a little bit of room. And then back over to Wendy's, which somehow looked like it was about to go. Whoops. I can't even type. There you go. Wendy's looked like it was about to go. Test, and now you're also getting the bottom of this move. So it looks like the shorts are coming in. I've gone only long today with the exception of the AEMD. That trap and ride, it is back at $10. So it feels like that short was a trap. That's about the only thing we got right so far because Wendy's about to take 28.
Yeah, we got a hell of a lot right now with Wish, as we'll go dap up for that. Look at this one. If there's a call that we made today that we talked about loving the most, it's Wish. And there you go, down $1 now on Wish. Clover's right back, man. We got out there on that 26.50 big, but we bought more downside. So let's get a little piece off now, just in case. I mean, this is now 50 cents. So, take a piece of Clover if it wants to go up. We'll be here and we'll get some out of Clover. So there it is, another out right there on CLOV. So that's a winner. And Wish right now just, it rebounded. So 13, we got to put an order at 13.50. We actually missed that looking at too many other things.
Yeah, and then I went back and doubled down on this on AEMD. The only thing I doubled down on, I'm looking to see some stocks hold bids first, and then we can jump back over at them. I think Wendy's is going to be the case. I did get a trigger right here at the bottom. So I'm like, I hate that. We get triggered out. If it takes the next level down, and I want to talk about that when we talk about 27, if it does take the next level down, that's when I want to load up in front. Or if we retake this 28 level and get back above, you get that sort of snapback rubber band long type of idea. But I've got to be patient with Clover. It doesn't look like any halts down to the downside. So I'm only holding the short that's working about 50 cents in the money AEMD, and then looking for some bounce plays. Now remember I said ride could be a trap. Thank goodness, because Lordstown was definitely, these candles, I've seen a few of them that don't make any sense to me. I don't think I actually even saw a ride trade at $9. If it did, it did. It's now right back above. So a snap back to the long side for ride. That 10 would have been an obvious trap.
Okay, there it goes, man. We tried it. We actually took the 53 break, and it worked for a little bit. And then we averaged in, this is what we do, 3 times, averaging at 51, took some 50s there, and now we'll have to see where AMC goes, man. We talked about watch out for 40, but the next level, I guess, has to be 47 now on the downside of AMC as it looks to crack lower here. So we'll see if it breaks back above 50, but for right now, AMC having a problem. I think we'll like a 51 break back to the upside if it goes. Clover, we dumped out of it. We tried another long right here. Now it looks like it's going to try to take 25 out. So Clover here, not a great stock, but we'll bid a little bit more, see if it holds through 25, but it doesn't look like it. Some of these, here it goes, some of these meme stocks coming right back to life today. So we did warn about some of this, guys. So just be very, very careful. It looks like it's going to be a losing day for anybody that did go. There it goes, flushed out. For anybody that did go long, the only stock that I seem to be going good on are the shorts. So shorts today reign supreme, and big one here for Wish. But AMC really hurt because I did not this trade. It's just more that it broke back down below 50. I thought 50 could hold, and we did believe in that. So when it didn't break, we do lose on that one. So that's AMC to the downside. So far, a red start for your boy here.
Yeah, I'll do this one because I just tried Clover off of that previous low. We talked about the have a level, wait for it. It came back down to that 25, 24.90 if you look at yesterday, and then 24.60 would have been that pre-market little bottom there. So I go long only in front of it. Now 24.60 breaks. So you're thinking about, at this point, you're talking about $20 and then 21.60 are the two levels that make the most sense to me. But this is the one I want to buy the dip in. If it's going to be a wipeout bottom long, then I still want to be able to have it. Wendy's has not really, it's trying to test that 27. It got to 30s, so it hasn't quite gotten me back into it. AMD is the one sort of hanging on to it. Goes teetering, up like 30 cents, out like 20 cents. But Clover, I don't want to miss this like wipeout kind of bounce here. I wanted 22.40 as the next level down. I wanted those halt levels, but this actually might be it if it retakes that 25. That could have been the flush.
Yeah, and Wendy's, goodness. I think it is. Wendy's also going to the downside there. Clover trying it one more time. So we'll go with it, man. We'll try it one more time here on Clover. The longs have not been good. There's that 24. We're going to go long here, 25 and change. If it doesn't hold, man, then it doesn't hold, and we'll get out of Clover. We'll just have to admit that we're going to be wrong again on that one. And this one's not that dangerous for me, but we'll wait to see where Clover goes. That 24, yeah, good call there on that bottom. But now it's up to 26.50 maybe. We can get out a little bit there. If we can get some 26 love, we'll definitely do that.
Oh my goodness, workhorse.
There goes Clover. Let's go, guys. Kicking horse right now on Clove.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got back in Clover. We both were looking at the same thing, but there was one, and workhorse, it was good. We actually talked about it a little bit. And the breakout happens at 1765. The one stock that we're actually not, didn't have an order for that topside break, and that's the one that looks like it's going to be going. So I hope somebody's got it. Please let me know if some of you guys have this in workhorse because it's a good one. I just got Wendy's back in front of that 27. So it is what it is, guys. We're going to take this here. We're going to take this here at 27 one more time, and then see if we can't get this one to bounce back up. Now 28 was a level. So, scalping in front of that is going to make a heck of a lot of sense, guys. I'm going to take some shares out on Wendy's in front of that 28, but hopefully it gets back up to that 29. So, at least that's working to the long side, and Clover looks pretty good, trying to take 26.
Yeah, ring the Reggies here on Clover, guys, as that's Wendy's. We went long Wendy's again as well. But there's Clover, man. Nice longs back. We're now $1 plus. 80 cents. Well, we were when above the, there it goes. Now we're $1 in the money on Clove, guys. Good trade here on that name. What's up, Brendan?
Another one we were talking about in the pre-market here, guys. Clovis Oncology, CLVS. Huge monster volume right at the open there, around $7, but it's kind of choppy so far. Tested above, tested below. We're kind of sticking to 7, but watch these levels down here. 660 support in the pre-market for CLVS.
At least something's going better. Like, obviously, the first long is going to stink in Clover, guys, so I'll still be red on the day for this name. But it just got back to 26, so I'll take a little bit out. I'm going to show you Wendy's as well, so we'll just kind of keep hitting the graphics if you got them there, Sean. And here's 27.70. What am I doing? Splitting hairs? Remove liquidity, Neil, for crying out loud. You just want out in front of this level, you just get out. There's plenty of liquidity to be had. I'm not wasting around about 5 extra cents or so, so Wendy's off that bottom. If we can crack this 28 cluster, we're looking back into VWAP before we can get the next out, so I want to have some orders in front of it. AMD is kind of, I'm going to lighten up on this stock because it's not like it's barcoding, but you look at what happens when off the open. I wait for that push off the open. I get more shares on the way back down, and then it's holding this 10 area. So I do take 20% off in front of 1030. That's only a 25-cent win. I'm going to have some on the south side of 10 at VWAP, and then let it break 10. If it breaks 10, I think that's when you're hoping for the floodgates to open back up. Clover is starting to come back in. If I liked the level before, I'm going to like it again. If we can hold 25, I think that's going to be like that go zone to be able to buy that dip on Clover. If it doesn't give it to us, that just means it's going, and hopefully gone. The stock, with sometimes a flush out like this is what gets you to that next level, which would be 30 in this case, obviously.
Yeah, we're making a lot of money back, man. The only big problem here was this move here on AMC, and I never got back in because I was buying bottoms on Wendy's, buying bottoms on Clover. But look where this went, man. It went right to that 47.50 basically. It went to 48. We talked about why we wanted 47.50. What an idiot I am not buying those 48 and changes. But we make it back, man. We're now $1 in the money on Clove. We talked about that, and then we're 45 cents now and still ripping upside on Wendy's. This was my biggest Wendy's position by far, 5 times what we had here. So let's wait to see now if it can go back upside. We like the name, and we're going to put the risk into the names that we like, guys. So that goes to the upside again. That's Clover, not CLVS. This is Clove Health. What's up, Brendo?
Another one in the EV space, guys, with a decent-sized short percent. It's about 12.2% here. This is Canoe. Just got flushed at the open there. It was up around 1240. We're right back to where we were yesterday, but don't see anything else when it comes to Go EV, guys.
Yeah, and I flushed down the toilet there, guys. And this is the AMD. Always, you have a trade. Always have an out. If you just sit there and average into this, yes, you'd be getting back. Yes, I'd be getting back into the money. But if you just take it out and be disciplined at 938, it's right back to that price. Doesn't mean you need to hold it the entire time. If we get that secondary flush, remember what this did at $8 to me. I was able to get some out at 8 or just on the south side of 8, and it bounced hard. So I'll definitely be taking some off. This one will give me a $2.50 winner. You better believe I'll be near flat if it gets anywhere close to that. As it stands, it's about $1 in the money. But this pre-market, just when I was talking about it, $7 up to $11.50. That is a wide range for a cheap stock. Understand what the range is in the stock that you're trading. Clover is coming right back. It just bounced down off of VWAP, so it looks like the trend is currently to the downside. Remember, this extended to 24, so as much as I have 25s now, I want a better price if it tries to dip back in.
There goes AMC again, back down. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, a biggest loser for sure today. Really the only stock. I mean, we were going to go a little negative on Clove, but everything else, man, is just win, win, win. All we do around here sometimes is win. And then there we go today. Wendy's, good long there. We did take some out, 70s, 80s, 90s. We now only have 30% of this position. Like I said, we actually took it out and, put on a decent amount of shares right there. So now we're going to wait for this 26.80 to come through. I don't mind taking another long, but we've made money back off of some of these first early longs, right? So we made some money back. Like, no selling down here. We didn't sell down here. We actually make money on Wendy's today, even though it did dip down. We got a nice little price there. So, but everything coming back down. Wish, though, still, man, $1 now in the money. And that went all the way back to 15. I'm missing so many opportunities. That was a great reload opportunity there on Wish, as it just continues to tank city right here, guys.
So, I mean, this is something I didn't necessarily think I was going to do, but I called it a trap before. Oh my goodness, you kidding me? I didn't get it. I just bounced, and it tried to get back to this like 10.50 area where it had a bit of a flush, and then that $10 level just got taken out. So I'm going to take a shot with the short here on, this is like the 3rd or 4th time it's taking this 10 level. You have some obvious outs here up to like 10.50. So I'm going to start out. I'm willing to kind of add to this twice, but I'll take about 1/3 of what I'm willing to have here. Actually, 10, like maybe 1/4, but I'm going to take less shares because it's the short side of the trade. So I'll maybe add once or twice. But from there, you can't let it break this 10.50. 11 break. If this is a wipeout, a washout short, a washout on the long trade, then that 11 break does still sort of stand firm, but I'm going to be short in front of 10.50 on ride. I did reload into Clover. but I'm holding off for that. Remember that 24 level? I said we got that 25 was a good bounce. Here is 24 even. If it tries to bounce off, this is where I want to try to get some more shares, guys. So it just bounced to 30s. I might have just missed it crossing up to like 40 there, but this could be that bounce that we're looking for, waiting for a little bit of a better price on Clover. Once again, off 24 this time, not 25.
Guys, wish. I mean, was there anything better today, right? Like I said, doesn't matter long or shorts. I just trade the price action. I tried to trade, what I believe is the best opportunity. And how about $2 now? Wish just flushed to 1270 there, guys. Like, you thought I was joking when I said that Wish is probably going to be coming back down here? Well, I'm not. So here goes Wish now, right to the downside. What a big movement. We're still short $15 on Wish. This 1280. See ya. There we go, guys. We're just dropping the bombs here for you guys today. $2 plus now in the money off Wish. I wish I was a baller. I wish I was Brendan or Miss V at the big screen. What's up, Miss V?
Sean, I wish I was you. Investment company GEO, guys, is up more than 33%. Any thoughts on GEO?
Valeria, you don't wish you were me. Trust me. Stay young, stay healthy, and let's keep going. But thank you for the compliment. GEO, sure, we'll look at that in a minute. I'll put it on my list, and we will look at that. Thank you guys for looking into that for us and giving us some other suggestions. But right now, we did average into Wendy's. Here it goes. It's going to break through. We're a little bit lower than this, and we're gone. We don't like this 27 level. It bounced off here last time. That's why we take the risk. So right now, into Wendy's, average price 23s. Let's see if it goes, man, a little bit lower than 27 and we gone.
Yeah, I mean, I basically did the same thing, rinsing, repeating on that one, and of course I'm doing the same thing in Clover, but that Geo, I'm gonna wait to see if we can get like a short interest on it, and also know what the news might be on it. But this looks like almost this patented reversal play for me, guys. Up here, you look at this 912, that pre-market level, and it's rolling over like AEMD did. This is big breakout. It's not a great level on the daily chart, but it's not terrible either at this 920. So if you're in the money and thinking about a bit of an out, you might actually want to consider it there for taking some profit. Clover, as I just mentioned, Wendy's had just made a bit of a bounce, or attempting to make a bounce off that low. Clover is making that bounce off of like 24.5. I'm still sitting on the bid down there, so I've missed it. If we get up to VWAP, you got to take some profit out. This currently, and those were all flushes off those breakouts at the open, with the exception of Workhorse. But this currently is downward trends in just about every single one of these names, with the exception of Workhorse from that open. Brendo?
Another one here, guys, just going WWE, World Wrestling Federation, popping up. Entertainment, used to be Federation. Back above 70, briefly there on a huge volume spike. I just checked, guys, this stock, 10% short for WWE.
You actually cannot call it Federation because of World Wildlife Fund. So they had WWF first, apparently. So that's why they switched over to E. Plus, they're more of an entertainment company now, I guess, they claim to be. Okay, Wendy's there. I thought, okay, so 26.88 there. We did get out on that break to the downside. So there's the out on Wendy's. No damage done today. Obviously, we wish it was a hell of a lot better of results than that. But we did try it. We do have some wins here on Wendy's. But right now, it's failing pretty hardcore as well. The only thing we have right now is Wish. Oh, we still have some Clover. Small position, waiting to see if we get longer at some bottoms here on Clove, including this 24 bottom. But other than that, man, we're just waiting and chilling here. Nothing else happening. CLVS not breaking, Rocket not breaking. So right now we kind of just got to hold our hat on some of these other names. Where's AMC? So again, it did it again? Okay, I'm putting some orders downside, man. 48, 48.50 needs to be taken. If I don't do it again, then honestly, maybe I'll dye my hair pink. But I don't have any hair, so that wouldn't be cool.
I'll go with this. We'll walk on water only for having decent outs and showing you guys the discipline. Like Wendy's breaks that low, I'm going to get out of that one. I'm going to hold on to Clover, which is actually bouncing. So look, you find what's working, you jump over to that. And that's why I talked about like cut off the losers where you have your stops, make sure you stick to them. And that's how you're going to manage your day here. But that bounce, we do get those shares eventually at 24.60 in Clover. And I take some out in front of VWAP, just like we said. You've got to take profit on some of these longs if you're day trading and momentum trading like we are. I am not ignoring AEMD. Look, it's that one that went nicely in the money for us here, but it did bounce. And this is that short we had right before we got blown out in the morning, right at the 9:30 in the morning, as if it was like an hour ago. And this is that level here at 860. It bounces off of it. If it holds VWAP, that's not a bad short entry to be able to come into it. But it looks like Clover and Workhorse, I mean, Workhorse is trying to get back to VWAP itself, but Clover could be a range-bound trade if it can hold this 24. But I will be scalping that $1.50 every time it gives it to me because the trend is still a pullback for now.
And guys, thank you. I never want to avoid, and unfortunately, we're just doing a lot of things. You guys already know that. Never want to avoid super chat. So thank you so much. No, thank you, Ace, for the super chat. All I do is mention stocks, man. You guys are the ones that actually have to take them. So big props to everybody that's taking some of these trades with us, man. Okay, Tealmore here. Thanks, Sean Katina. I've made a lot of money on Clove, then overtrading, gave back half, but it's still a good day, though. Hey, man, that's what it's all about. You got to sometimes have those diamond hands and trade the right stocks. And look, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some. Let's just hope that we can be in this together. I have no negative days, I think, in June and one in May. So, you know, if you stick with it, you know, we should be able to cash in a little bit together here as we continue to rock and roll. So my mind's going everywhere, but someone who is a greater mind, Brendan, give it to him.
Volume pretty light on this one, but worth mentioning here, guys. IBRK, Interactive Brokers, yeah, get set for crypto trading on IB coming this summer. But as I mentioned, not much response there. Volume pretty light on that one, guys.
I mean, that being said, you look at all this volume, who wins? I mean, yeah, the exchanges win, brokers are doing absolutely fantastic, so they're loving all this activity. Going to get to ride here. It is SSR, by the way, so, you know, when you take some of these trades, you're having to get that fill on an uptick if you're shorting or just wait passively for it. I did wait around to be able to get more shares at a bit of a better stop level. That 1055, I'll give it to this little cluster back here where it tried to bounce, and this is right at like 926, first flush, tried to bounce back up past 1050, so give it a couple of pennies north side of that, and then see if it can't break down as well. I want to get back over to Clover because I think this is going to be that in and out trade. And it's going to test. Every time it tests, I want a better long. So we longed here in front of 25, and the next time we took 24.86, and the next time I'm taking 24.60. So you can kind of see what's going on here. We're getting down towards that 24. If it doesn't hold, you know, I can't sit there forever. I already talked about a 22.60 area to the downside that I would like to buy a dip in front of as well. So we'll keep pushing the bid back a little bit further on Clove each time. And I want to make sure if it breaks VWAP, I have a little bit on board to retest some of those highs because you don't want to give it up. You know how far this can run. If this was a wipeout of those longs, then sometimes that's the impetus to that next push to the upside. So I still want to have some on board if that 24 holds. Brendo?
Maybe day 3 is the day for Biogen. If you remember, we had that good news a couple days ago as far as Alzheimer's treatment is concerned. Volume coming back into BIIB here, guys. We're back through 400, straight through to 405 for this one.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we'll watch BIIB. Ride, good move. I know Neil has that, so I just want to say I'm adjusting my longs obviously to 1050. 1150 is not coming, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think you have to start adjusting some of those to the downside. I just pushed it to. I pushed to 11 off the pre-market action. If this does give like 950. Maybe breaking down past 950, I should probably get something on the bid here in front of like that 50 level, just to make sure if it flushes. If it presses down by 950, then you sort of adjust your breakout prices to the upside. You might be considering like 10 in a little bit here, but you know it is what it is. Like, you know, the Wish short is a fantastic one. It's ironic. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, why am I over at Ride and not in Wish? But that's because the first initial move did miss, and I wanted to be buying dips instead of like trying to work a short in one of the meme names. Clearly the wrong call because clearly. Even like in a Wendy's, which I thought would be different, you know, you're still seeing this round at that low. This is a bit of a washout long again. I've had several longs in Wendy's, but you just had another washout at 27, and it's still trying to retake it. So I do have 2 shorts and then that long position in Clover. I do feel like I can add another long, and it's likely to be in Wendy's if I have to pick something, because I still feel like this is a bit of a different story.
Yeah, I was, and I'm the same way here with Wish. Like I don't really know. Where like I do want to put a bid here, and I did have a bid at 1280. Honestly, I did, and then I canceled it and was like, I mean, who knows where this thing's going? It's still up 11%. I think it should be down 11%. So I don't know where this thing's going to go today. So I'm just going to hold out, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. We're holding about 20% of our last position, but when you're in the money $2, that 20% means something. So that's going to be a good one. We still have. I know Neil's talking about Clover, but I've really got down and narrowed down some of the opportunities for myself. So we're long Clover 20%. 25.09 right now, and it's at 26. So that's a good win for us as well. So right now we're holding on to a 70-cent winner here and a $1.80 win here on Wish as well. So we're just going to hold on to these two and then look for some better names. I'm really glad that we talked about BlackBerry a little bit today and why I didn't like them here, because there it is, man. If you were with me on that, and I said that I would regret not trading this. Remember, I said I think BlackBerry is the one that's probably done, and then like bang, like that's $1.20 there. I don't know if I heard Brendan. You guys could throw it at any time. So no, okay, so no problem.
I'll hit this one. Arrows up, but I just made a mistake. I just got out of all of Clover in front of VWAP instead of just some of it. So I might have to get in a couple of ways here. I mean, it could break like 26, 25. Otherwise, we'll get a little bit more aggressive buying the dip in front of 24. Look, you're happy to make money. No one ever went broke taking a profit. But at the end of the day, I did just finish saying I wanted to hold a core position and managed to not do that by getting out of the last 20%. I simply had too many orders out at the same time and didn't notice that I was double offering. That is a bit of a sloppy mistake. I'll take a little pot shot at it in front of 25, but it's really still that 24.50 that I like a little bit better. That doesn't mean, it doesn't mean I can't buy shares in front of it, but because I got all flat, I'll jump up a little bit higher than I was going to do before to get a reload in this name. I can tell you that Ride is starting to slide back down here. Now, it's at 985 from what I can tell. And as I just get some shares back into Clover, Lordstown Ride just happened to try to break this 985. I'm sitting in front of 970. I might step up and take some out here if it wants to bounce, just so I can rinse and repeat, shorting above VWAP. Brendan.
Yeah, just quickly, guys, this GEO halted. Lots of people talking about this already, but volatility through 10 there on the halt for GEO. The story here seems to be just the short percent, very high, 32% I see on GEO.
Oh man, that was one. Sorry about that. We said we'd look at that, and I will now. I mean, obviously it's halted, so nothing to look at. It is a New York stock, so that's where you're gonna have NY show up for you. Look at that Wish, man. $2.50 now in the money. Hells to the yeah, man. The short is here with the diamond hands on Wish today. Okay, yeah, $9, good move. Brendan already hit this up with 33% short interest. So obviously getting targeted right now is this Wish, or sorry, just GEO. I don't even know. I missed what they even do. I don't know much of real estate. Okay, I missed this company a little bit here, down to 5 and change. Thank you, Valeria. Wow, look at Miss V, up to 10 and a quarter right now. So we're gonna have to wait for this to reopen, but good move. Look at Wish. I told you guys we didn't want to put out our 1280 there, and this is why. Well, I mean, when it was up, like I've just been spoon feeding these trades. I said when this was up 11%, which was literally a minute ago, I said I think we should be down 11%, guys. And there goes Wish. Ding, 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 ding. Look at these shorts. Bang, bang, bang. Nothing out yet, man. We thought this was a good out at 13. We were way wrong on that one, as now Wish just continues. Adios, amigos. I'll see you at $10, my friend.
And I'm going to be watching. Look, halt trades are something that I'm always involved in, or usually involved in. Geo's probably not going to be anything different here, but I just want to make sure we have some free shorts. The breakdown is happening in Ride, so I can take that one to the gates of hell with my first out. But you got to look back and look. There is a bit of a level here when you get to this like 1030, essentially where this GEO has halted. So I know it's a short squeeze, but if it cannot hold this level, usually there's a pretty good retracement idea off of this. So if it opens back up, and cannot hold like a 10, it's like usually a short off of the halt price, so 10.25 would be your stop, and then you're short in like the $9.80 to $10 range. Should open up in about a minute or so. Until that happens, Clover was able to get that reload, like I said, but I wanted to pick some levels down here closer to that 24 area. So I started at 25.08, willing to add in front of 24, but if 24 goes on Clover, I'll be hunting about $1.50 down before I get back in.
Yeah, I got some bids here. I was looking at that 24 level too, obviously, so we'll wait to see on that one. I mean, that's going to be a good short when and if that comes through, but that needs to happen first for CLOV. That's Clover. We will wait on that one. I just got filled there, so I got to get out. What was that? Wish? Okay, that was just Wish going to the downside. Okay, what's up, Brendan?
Just seeing one of these Chinese education companies, online education companies, go to this. Used to be, if you remember, GSX. So formerly GSX, now this go-to Chinese education company ripping here, guys, on volume. Short percent, not that high. It's only 7 on this one. Don't see news either.
All right. I was just canceling now. I'm looking at a few different orders here. I guess I can cancel my. Remember, I said I was locked and loaded? Well, we were, so I need to now cancel because Ride not going to those levels. We already have a good level for us on Ride. Maybe I shouldn't have trash talk Wish because now it's up that 20 cents from its bottom, or up actually 60 cents from its bottom, but whatever. We're going to hold this one for hopefully forever today, as I don't believe in it. And what's up to everybody that's loving Fisker right now with me? You guys know that where we're long like 11 and change. We talked about this at 10. So, wow, still not out of this. I talked to Trader TV Randy. He actually said, should I buy some at 18? And I feel bad, Randy, if you're watching. I know it wasn't going to be a big position, but I said no, thinking that Fisker may fall back into this kind of an area, 15, 16. So I'm not going to stamp buys on Fisker right now, but what a great move it is to the upside. I don't know, again, not a short squeeze or anything like that. It just looks like, hey, if money's coming out of Ride, like sometimes you got to think about some of these theories, right? Like if people are in the EV space because they like the EV space, if they hear that about Ride, again, it's not old news, right? Like Ride told us down here weeks ago that they weren't making any money and they didn't have any money. So no one's really making money, by the way. Okay, there it goes. So now here comes Clover right to the downside again. By the way, 24 just cracked.
Yeah, I just got stopped out at 24 on Clover. I did get into Geo off that reopen, so you can see my eyes glued to level 2 here and watching the chart. It does hold that halt price. It spiked up, and then we get that hold. I entered a couple of times here, and I end up with 10 as my price. I have bids down in front of, remember, previous highs like 9.15, so I'm going to be bidding all the way to that in VWAP. So I probably started at that 3/4 mark and see if it can't come to the downside. Risk reward is just something I'm going to like here. Of course, you got to flush Clover down the toilet, so going to be poo-poo for that one. We'll give it that. Clover. There's that 24 break, guys. I'm all out of it. AMD, by the way, as I'm watching GEO, AMD starting to come back up. I'm going to wait till it gets closer to that top to try to get back in short. It's an 1180 top, and I'm short here on the AEMO at 1054, which is my last entry. I'm probably going to wait until it gets closer to 11 to load back into that one.
Yeah, I just keep getting busted, and I'm just saying there. I know Brendan was riding some of these shorts, but so good job, Brendo, on some of those today. As everything just keeps getting. I still have a small piece there. I actually didn't even get my order out at 24, doing stupid things here on that trade. So now Clover there. Yeah, man, shorts today. Like anything you're short basically wins today. I mean, I don't know. Is there a stock that's gone up here today? Like I'm amazed that I'm not getting crushed a lot more today, considering. So I mean, just thank God we have this position on Wendy's. Wish. Well, let's go back over to Wendy's. Like you want to talk about something like here you go. Like you're shorting, man. Today's bang for you. Like every stock that we mentioned today seems to be down. BlackBerry, Wendy's, Wish. Just been a big day for any of that. So we'll switch up our gears here. I guess even Ride is down. I mean, everything's down today. DraftKings 55. That's a good little level. What's up, Brendo, at the big screen?
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock already. Let's have a look at North American markets here. We can see basically where we were when we were talking in the pre-market. Not a lot happening. S&P 0.1 to the upside, the Dow basically flat at this point. Tech stocks trying to lead again. There is some underlying strength from the NASDAQ here, about 0.3 for both the composite and the 100. The Russell, dead flat. Here in Toronto, we're down about 0.5%. Some weakness in energy and mining leading the way. Some cannabis names as well to the downside. GameStop, I wanted to mention a few things we were talking about this morning if you joined us early on. Down 1%. So yeah, a lot of these coming back to earth a little bit. Remember, GME earnings aftermarket tonight. We'll have a look at MindMed as well. The J.R. Ron announcement out pre-market this morning. Yeah, 4.5% here to the downside, but off the lows you can see for MindMed. Guys, back to you.
And when I come back, and usually we'll power this one up for that GEO, but watch out, the top about to get taken off on AEMD. It actually just, well, by a penny, it just took the top. So we get one win, we get one hit, and that breaks the high. So AEMD takes out the top, waited till it got there. I'm actually still holding some GEO shares. I'm going to get some more out if it breaks that VWAP, but it looks like it's a little bit more in control as it gets to the downside. But here comes that AEMD. Not every short works, I can tell you that, but you have to have outs in this stock. And when it took this level, go back here just so you can see the pre-market levels. This was the actual top when it took it out. I waited until it got to 11 to get back into that short position instead of maybe catching it at like 10.50. It looks like it's a maybe failed break. If that's going to be the case, I like jumping back into those if it's a bit of a failed break to the upside. So Geo is the one that we're still holding on to, and it's looking like it wants to test back up towards that previous halt price, that 10.20 area, well, 10.25. The high here is 10.50. So if it does fail, and we've already gotten some out, the only reload I would have would be off of this level and then with a 1050 stop. Otherwise, just get out when 1050 breaks. If it fails, which it just tried to there, I would try to jump into some more shares, catch some, and if 1050 breaks, bye-bye.
Okay, so here goes AMC, man. A big mover there. Congratulations, man. Anybody holding that had this move right back. So there it is, man. Great move in AMC all the way back to 51.50. Congratulations, Ape Gang there. You guys hit that one perfectly right if you were long into these levels. Unfortunately, I put bids down here, just never got any. So right now we do go short off that 51.50 right here. Look, if we break through 52, we gone. I'm not going to sit here on the short. I just think that this could come back at least to VWAP, which is 50. So let's see. But right now, there we go, man. I told you, it don't matter long or short. We'll just punch the stock a little bit and we'll see what happens now coming through here. We'll put some bids out. Again, no real price targets for this. We're just going to scalp AMC today back and forth as we already got hit with our one long.
And we'll go back over to Clover. Remember we said if it was 24 broke, 22.50. There's 22.50 off the bottom. It bounces. I got 61s to the long side. You're already above 23, so I'm going to scalp some out for a 60-cent win. And this is what it's all about. Like, if you have a level, wait for it. Don't necessarily just average into that level. Take the hit, get out of it, wait for the next stop. Now if it gets back to that 24, I'll take another leg out of this one here, guys. So, like, I want to be buying dips on Clover. I just wish I had waited a little bit longer. And of course, there's Geo taking the top again. Although, no, wait a minute, I don't want a long in that stock. Let's just get out of it. I don't want a long in that stock. Looks like we reversed into a long accidentally, so we're going to get out of that one and take the spread. Clover, if it gets to 24, I'll take another leg off. I think you got to take more profit in front of VWAP. At some point, this could just be one of those like washouts. And like I keep saying over and over again, I do want to make sure I have a little bit of something on board in case that's exactly what happened. I'll go over to Geo. It's entirely possible that this would have been a good long. We're getting back in, reversing accidentally long at 1064, but I did not mean to do that. I accidentally had an extra order this. We get long, I get out, pay like 20 cents for the privilege of making that mistake, guys. But if I didn't want the law, I'm not going to hold on to it and hope it's a winner. Yes, it would be in the money. That means nothing. Brendo?
Okay, a few Chinese-related names popping up here this morning, guys. Here's the latest. The 9 limited NCTY, 15% just taking out day highs on a decent volume spike. This is actual news. So they secured some new financing here today. That was announced in the pre-market here. That was the gap to the upside. So a nice little move here for NCTY. For anyone in this country or trading Canadian stocks, just a heads up, the Bank of Canada leaving the key interest rate unchanged, quarter point. No surprise to anyone, guys.
Good job, BOC. Good job. For anybody that has a mortgage or a loan or anything like that, that's good. Leave the rates alone. Do not touch them. Okay, so on Clover as well, although I'm fixed mortgage, but okay. Let's go to the upside right now, $23. Let's see what happens here. If that does break, obviously that's going to be exciting news for us on Clover, but it looks like Neil is trading that really well, man. Just got to get in and out. That's what I think the right way to do is here, is to make sure that you're trading this name and scalping it, because right now there are some levels that are cracking on Clover, so you definitely got to watch out for that. But that's a big name for us here today on the show. I hope you guys are trading Clover as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I'm sort of doing here is I'm just moving my stops every single time. So and I always get it on the way back up. So I need to see 2250 hold. It breaks it, goes to 36, comes back upside, and that's when I'm getting the long. Not on the way down, but on the way up. Sort of going back to those basics that I usually have. And if it retakes that low price, like this is now 35, I'm just getting out on low breaks. I'm not even giving it room at this point because you're basically catching a falling sword here. Now, what's interesting to me is Lordstown is barcoding a little bit. So, I mean, like I was sitting there saying 11 break, and I'm now short sitting in it. I've only gotten one out at 985. I have bids that aren't getting hit here as it can't seem to break down. I'm going to jump on the train of taking a long at 50. So I'm going to reverse on this thing because if everything is flushing and Lordstown is holding up after the news yesterday, then I think we have to think about that snapback long side trade a little bit sooner rather than later. So go from 1150 to 11 even and short in front of 1050 to reversing at 1050. You have to be able to adjust to the market. That's why we give you that thought process. Said it might happen. Now it sort of is happening for me.
Okay. Yeah, we're still trading like a maniac here, but AMC we're gonna get out at 52 if it breaks, man. We already took that little win there. 51.40s out, 58, 50.90, and it looks like it's gonna take 52. We're gone as soon as 52 happens, guys. So there it is. So we're gone there. Now we're gonna reverse a little small long here on AMC, and let's see where this goes from here. But 52 just breaks. Look at that, man. You guys held this thing. Let's see if we go red to green here today on AMC. So again, big wins all about here if you're able to buy in these bottoms. And we tried to buy these bottoms here. We did take a little short. There's the out, so really no damage done there. But yeah, AMC with a big move off that bottom. Definitely pay attention to any of those trades if you have them on board as well. And then other than that, Wish, we're going to find some areas to short this thing. I guess we're not going to see $10 after all. What about VWAP? They're at 14, so there is something there at least a little bit for you on Wish. So we'll have a look there. And other than that, man, AMD, CLNE now running space, doing a little bit. Geo at that 1048, so that was a good one. Obviously, Neil talked about that off the reopen there. 11s, it's bounced off there a bunch of times.
Sorry, no, I'm just going back to that Geo. I know you mentioned it here, but it just touched 11 a couple of times, and I was like, oh my goodness, this could come back and give me the same short that we're looking at just a couple of seconds ago. So I talked about those failed breakouts. It just did one of those. At least I think it did. Obviously, I'm betting on it because I just went short. But that touch at 11, can't do it. I'm not necessarily short at 1080. I'm just short back at that same price that we had the second time through in that 1050 area. So join a move instead of create or start at 1035. If it breaks down to VWAP, once again, you got to take profit in front of it because it couldn't get there last time. Brendo.
A little bit of vaccine-related news here. Inovio Pharmaceuticals, remember INO, guys, expanding their partnership with Advacine to conduct a phase 3 efficacy trial for their DNA vaccine candidate. So INO getting a nice little bump here today, back to 950 for this one.
All right, Carlos, that's for you there, the Weed Batman. A good call there on what's happening with Tilray as Geo now. Yeah, nice little tank there. Okay, here's Tilray again. I always, look, I own the stock. It's a pretty heavy position of mine because of the Afria turnover. We talked about that, but that's old news now. But you're up 9% today. So, I mean, Weed Batman's already been here, but let's see if we can smoke some profits on this. Look, I mean, it's upside. I'd love to get out of this. I think I probably will, guys, after the show, get out of a little bit more here. Every single pop up for a lot of these cannabis names does give us an opportunity to get out. Again, it's a big play on legalization. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that. So that's sort of the look here for me on cannabis. And I really want to get excited about it. I always want to hold a core position. But I do think that, on moves like this today, definitely a great opportunity to get out, as these can be very, very volatile, needless to say. But on the daily chart, it's been looking good, man. It's just been upside, upside, upside. But again, we were just at 14, not really too much news. I do know that they released Symbios, another medical spot for them, a plant. So we'll wait to see, or a brand. So we'll wait to see there as it goes to the upside here. Tilray seems to be another Wall Street Bets name for sure on the cannabis side. I think this is the play that they like, this and SNDL.
And then Clover, once again, Clover takes out the bottom and then snaps right back. So it's a bit of the same thing that some of these other names are doing on those flush out bottoms here. I'll jump right back in when it makes that snap play. GEO, that's a good one. We'll go with, I guess that one's Bear Train. So I'll hit that key for you, is that's now down 40 cents in the money. So that rollover works. Clover, I'm going to continue every single time I re-enter this trade. Know that I am scalping some out in front of next levels. I was able to get it up here 23.38 on the last long. I'm going to shallow that out, maybe take 20 cents less, and then get some more out in front of like 23.75. But that's one thing I'm going to continue to do here, is have relatively tight stops that get stopped out, jump back in only if it's like a fake out. So I'm willing to get out and sort of get back into the trade. If it breaks down further, I mean, the next level, you're probably coming all the way back into like 21.40. I think if this cracks and we're below that 22.25 mark, which is the quarters, if that breaks, you're waiting I'm waiting $1 before re-engaging in this trade. So we're now the second time taking this long around that 22.50 area. It looks like it could be okay. Geo, and we talk about these shorts coming in. Now this obviously went to the upside hard before a couple of pushes, but I'm going to continue to take profits on these shorts. I'm not averaging into this one. Forget about it. I need breaking VWAP here, getting down into this $9 cluster, and then I'll probably take some off in front of it. If it holds below the previous pre-market high at it's like 915, 925, that cluster could be a good entry for an area short. That's getting ahead of myself, obviously, because it has to get there in the first place. Ride, I'm still holding on to, but look what it's doing, guys. Coming back into that upside. Coming right back into this top. Now, I am reversing into the long, but I was already willing to take more shares short in the 10.25 range. I'm still going to go ahead and do that because I did take some profit at the bottom end of this range. So for now, I am still short in Lordstown. But if it breaks 10.50, that has got to be a reversal. For the, for all these stocks to be dying, sort of the squeeze plays dying to the downside here or getting sold off, for Ride to be holding out, I mean, it tells you everything you need to know about what that reversal could be at 10.50. I mean, the stock was at 15.40 when the news dropped.
Yeah, I mean, we're liking everything there with Ride. I mean, I do like Ride. I do like Clover. We're in this name as well. We're still waiting for that bottom to break. And if it does, man. 21 is my bottom. So we'll wait for Clover. Going to try to have a little bit longer on that one. We're going to give it all the way down here. So we'll give that to there, and we'll see what happens on CLOV. But now it looks like it wants to break for sure. There goes 22.50. So this will be a rough ride today, but we'll just wait to see. I mean, still hoping for some upside bounces here on CLOV, but right now struggling. It just holds 22.50 there. That's good. That'll work for us for sure. Wish there. It didn't get to VWAP, so we didn't have to worry about that. But now it's starting to make a move back to the downside. I still don't even want to take out 12s, so hopefully that can continue to make its move on the right side. And it's funny, man, because we just talked about this with Tilray, and now you're seeing it come back down. So, I just always want to caution people when they're trading these names that sometimes it doesn't continue, man, especially on Tilray. They get a lot of love early, and then you'll start to see the volume start to fade off, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, it just drips down. I mean, same thing kind of yesterday, makes that top and then just drips down here. But actually, it rebounded nicely in the afternoon. So I take back a little bit there, as that did rebound back to 20. And then today, you get that bump by 10% up to 22. But I'm kind of expecting a slow drip right now on Tilray. Brendo, another one.
Just looking at Campbell's Soup. There was Campbell's reported in the pre-market here down today. 6.4%. Did bounce off some daily levels over here. 45.5 to 45 was the bottom. But looks like it was the forecast, so makes sense. I guess they benefited from the pandemic. A lot of people eating soup, possibly, at home, but going back to work now. So their forecast, a bit of a problem, guys, for CPB.
And we'll go back over to that Geo and we'll hit the fist bump. This one definitely working nicely. Look, you can talk about stocks to be able to trade, but on some days you want to have those setups that you like. So after the halt trade, I wasn't even touching this thing until after the halt. We get a couple of cracks at it. First, it's muted success. We get stopped out. We had it out. And then now you get that rollover. It holds that 11 even area. I'm not necessarily shorting right in front of 11. I'm waiting for it to get back to that halt price that I can play off of. We're able to go ahead and do that. It cracks down into that cluster. So I get out in front of it and you catch that $1.15 winner. So that's what it's all about sometimes here. The battle is still on, though, in Clover to try and hold this low. I mean, obviously, you get wipeout, breakout longs. The dip long didn't work. Several dips here. Then you get some muted success off that 24.50 area. And the last time it doesn't work. Now we're doing the same thing down here at 22.50. 21.6 is going to be that next level to the downside. It hasn't even given me an out above this 23 yet for that scalp winner, guys. So as much as it's trying to hold the bottom, it still has yet to break off it. There is a bit of a wedge forming, so there is a decent chance it's got to make its run here. But you can't fight it forever, guys. And Ride, Lordstown, it just missed my offer here. I was sitting here at like 27s. It just touched 24. And Clover just took out the low again. So we'll keep doing this with Clover. Now trying to limit the hits to like 30, 40 cents at a time. Smaller hits, trying to get those bigger wins as it crests down towards that bottom. And immediately it's at that 21.50 level. That's crazy. Like the second it gets out, I'm like immediately playing off that 21.50. That's absolutely nuts, guys. So I'm right back into Clover after taking that stop. Thank goodness we had that stop out on Clover. That's kind of nuts here. I was sitting here looking and analyzing over in another name. And Clover might be doing the wipeout here at 20. If this thing looks like it's about to halt, that could be the turn. And I want to catch that halt turn.
So, guys, like apparently we got mentioned on CNBC.
That's
so,
true.
Ting. Yeah, guys, thank you so much, man. Just keep it going. We'll just keep telling them where the best channel is and what we're following and what we're doing. But yeah, there goes Clover. Good call, Neil. Break to the downside. So these are all longs. So thank you for following us, but don't follow these long trades today on Clover. What you should really be doing is, and remember Remember, yo, what up, CNBC? Remember that 1150, guys. Like, hey, look, this is the trade. We talked about Wish. We talked about hitting this thing to the downside. We just don't go long meme stocks here. Nepa, we go short. This was the biggest. We talked about that. We liked it twice. We hit Wish. We talked about that this was a weak position because it was pre-market. But then, hey, man, like, screw that. We take another short there, go all the way to the downside, and now we're rocking and rolling. So let's get ready to keep on going, man. And then, by the way, like, again, you know, we're a completely different channel. Like, I love that CNBC mentioned us, but we don't fit with everybody else. Like, I talked about shorting Tilray, right, at the top, and gave you logic onto why I thought Tilray was a short, okay? And then there it is, man. We talked about shorting 2220. Bang to the downside. Oh my God, there goes Wish. It's blow up central on Wish. Like, maybe I myself thought I was joking when I said that Wish to $10, okay? But I mean, here it is right now. You want a 50% winner on? I mean, it's right here. It's right on my account right now for you. So there we go. Talk about taking 50% in 40 minutes. Not a bad trade at all. And here we go, man. Wish to the downside. Keep on falling, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, kind of wish I held onto that Geo, but I think it's going to give us a chance to get back in. I said, like, Clover is crazy, guys. So you're taking that stop and then immediately jumping back in on that little bit of a dip. And here's the next cluster. Right off of this level, it actually just bounced off of 20 even, so it's trying to hold up. And this is what sort of rinsing and repeating. This is how you limit those losses. I mean, realistically, I've had probably 6 or 7 separate trades, but twice as many executions on Clover. Technically 28 because I've taken some out. But to the long side, twice as many executions, but managing to somehow limit those losses because we've had stops the entire way. I think it was a bit of a mistake to get out of that Geo. Hindsight is always going to be 20/20, but once this thing started to run in the money for me, I probably could have held on to see if it held that cluster there. I did take it all off because I said that's what I was going to do. It does feel like the flush could be on for GEO here. As you see, it just pressed down to 880. At this point, if it bounces off of 8, I'll probably be looking for that snap back and then shorting off of 9 to 925. 10, if 20 just broke on Clover, I'm done with that stock. Forget about it.
That's amazing. I'm just reading some of the responses there from everybody there on the CNBC. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, we made it well before CNBC, but it is nice to get some Main Street coverage there. So a big shout out to Mr. Jim Cramer as well. We've gone back and forth a little bit on Twitter a couple times, so that's good. And then again, like, this is not a channel where we just pump the stuff out of stocks because, again, if you rewind it and you go rewind where's my rewind button? I don't even know where it is, but it doesn't really matter. We did talk about it. Where is that? I like that rewind button. We did talk about BlackBerry and why we didn't really like it as I look for that. I still don't even see it, but whatever. It's going to be here somewhere. But Pokeroo knows what's good. And he goes, hey, man, we did talk about shorting BlackBerry. And I said that this was one name that I felt like was probably a little bit overdone the last couple days. A lot of consolidation upside right now. And again, sometimes you do have to rely a little bit on fundamentals, guys. And then if BlackBerry's not going to be there, they haven't had a super successful time, lately. So I don't know. We read their earnings report. It's not great. So we'll move on that. Also, Fisker, man, good trade here. But like I said earlier, this is not a name that I'd be in at these levels. I like this stock more near the 16 level, 15, 16, like where we were barcoding back here. But hey, guys, it's a $4 winner now for Wish as we punch that one in the face. Let's see. Do I even get out at 10? I mean, that was a magical call, but we'll wait to see, man. $5 on a $15 name? We'll take it. Brendan at the big screen. Kill it, my friend.
All right, yeah, small cap time, guys. Finally, some action coming back into some of these small cap names. Once again, CKPT was one that was up significantly in the pre-market on some positive news. This little consolidation, if you go to a daily chart, $4, big time level on the support side for CKPT. Holding above that 30%. I feel like I got too far ahead of myself here a little bit. I wanted to show you this one. CLNE was another one. Clean energy. Look at the move this thing's having right now. Go to the daily chart here. 13 was a bit of a pivot if you go back a month or so ago. 14, then 14.5 to the upside. This gave you a great long initially off of 13 all the way up into 14 and change. Flip to the short side, all the way back down to 12.5. Look where we are now. 11.5. Should have held some of CLNE, a great mover both directions this morning. CKPT, as I was mentioning, $4 here. Bit of a pivot in the pre-market. I was going to add way more if we got anywhere close to that at the open. It did not. Just fails immediately all the way down to 320. So nice fader this morning. CKPT. SPI Energy, we talked about the clean energy side of things coming back into play a little bit today. 840 held 2 times here in the pre-market as support. So I was just using 840, and then above that, that last little pivot there was 9, gave you a nice flush down to 720. And I want to quickly, if I can, show you one more ride here, guys. I've been watching this since the open this morning. Someone's buying a lot of shares between 980 and 10. So it did give you a quick opportunity to the southbound side here off the open, but someone buying a lot of shares between 980 and 10 on ride, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, you can say that again, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I think the reversal could be in play in ride. Now, one of the misses this morning is going to be Wendy's. Obviously, we can talk about that sort of ad nauseum. Fortunately, we're going to have our stop outs here so we don't hang on to it. You're starting to get right back in. We'll go to the daily chart here because this stock was not barcoding, but finding all kinds of resistance on this break from 25. And then you sort of get the Wall Street bets coming through, and then you get that breakout from that 25 area. It held it on a dime, 25. I can tell you, I know this is 25.38 because I was sitting there. Sorry, this is 25.39 because I was sitting at 38 and didn't get that fill in the morning. Now we're right back, or at least close to those levels. That 25 is within sight. I think that's where you want to see a consolidation before you even think about stepping back into it. Clover needs to settle itself down, that's for sure. I just finished mentioning, and look, you should always have a bit of a plan of action for your trade. So it's not to say that, you know, I knew the geo was going to come down, but waiting for some of these to calm down. When everything else is falling on these squeeze plays and then something's halting to the upside, there it is. Obviously got it a little bit too early. It is heading down towards 8. And as I mentioned, if it bounces off this $8 area, I'm looking to re-enter off that $8.90 to like $9 cluster, maybe even more shallow than that. I'm just holding ride to the short side at this point and looking for Wendy's if it can bounce off of its lows. That 25, that was that breakout price on the daily chart. How can you not like it in front of there? I mean, for a swing trade, I mean, you have a bit of an out there on the daily chart, but I'm going to take it on that day trade in front as well.
Oops. Hey, what's up? Hey, trolls. You guys like trolls? It's a good one. So a little bit upset there. I mean, it looks like we got a better price. I could just get back in, but I just did want to give it to you guys because I'm a little bit perturbed because, I just made a little bit of a keystroke error there. I don't know. I thought I was putting in 12. Unless there was a spike there, which there wasn't. This is a 1 minute chart. Let me just see. Did I get? No. I didn't. So I was going to get out at 12. Like if this broke through 12.25 or so, I was going to get out of Wish. Unfortunately, I put the order, not unfortunately, but I put the order in. So it is what it is. But I did put the order in to get out there. You can't hold these things forever, guys. I mean, part of trading is being disciplined. Part of trading is being educated, you know, and part of trading is having your ins and your outs. Okay. So that's the one thing here that I'm not going to sit here and tout a stock to the moon or to its grave, etc. But this Wish report, guys, I mean, you know, I don't like the company. We've talked about that over and over. The fundamentals to me just aren't there. You could see the chart, the kind of movements that it's had to the downside, and all of a sudden you get this kind of a move. It was a fantastic short, and we did that, man. We shorted right here, 15s. We believed in it, we shorted it, and we just got out, but it just failed off 12 again. So probably let's just maybe take this short now, see if we can get rewarded, but that was a mistake. We didn't mean to get out, but it is showing some strength upside now. It does bounce. Like, that was amazing. Like, I did call that $10. It comes as low as $10.70 there, so really proud of that one. Miss V, you're at 4,000 likes right now, and if we get anywhere near what I think that we possibly could right now, well, we were at 4,000. We have to refresh this. I thought we were at 4,000 or close enough to 4,000, but right now, yeah, 3.6 right there on the like meter. So yeah, we're about halfway before Valeria. I guess she said rainbow. I don't even really know what that means.
That's just multiple colors.
Oh, like Harlequin. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So we'll see there. 6K likes. Lori's already posting it up there. So we'll see, guys. If you like some of those Marvel comics, or no, that would be DC there. She's going to look like, what was her name? Yeah,
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. That's what we just talked about. So good name there and a good look. Let's cheer that position on, I guess, guys.
Yeah, and let's cheer some Lordstown on. Like, I'm going to step up in front of that 3/4 price, so hopefully you can get this flush. I mean, you're sitting here at 77. I'm seeing it hold this 75 area too many times, not to try to take some more shares out of Lordstown. It is short sell restricted. I'm still looking to short it on a pop if it can even get there. I mean, you talk about the craziness that's happening. Geo is bouncing again. again. So like I'm trying to be patient with this because I did say I wanted a little bit closer to VWAP in that cluster at about $9. It's getting close to a bit of a pullback, so I can re-enter the short position, but I don't want to jump in too early. I feel like there's no need to do that. AMD, which is another crazy stock, and this had that pop. I didn't make top wick, but that's close enough to it that I'll call it top wick. Okay, fine. I'm like 50, 70 cents away from top wick, but either way, that was the current high break, and I got out of it. It is now sort of consolidating off of VWAP, so not looking weak enough for me to jump into that short position at all at this particular price. Workhorse, another one of these names. This is the only one that had a breakout that actually would have worked out pretty nicely for you, and even it is coming all the way back in. So you are seeing Workhorse under a bit of pressure. If you drop back and start thinking about like the afternoon resistance price, that was like 15.65, and you get a range down to that 15 level. I did say on a dip, on an extreme dip, I like Workhorse 15, but I also liked a lot of levels on Clover, and those haven't worked out. So take it all with a grain of salt, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to call the levels that we see, and hopefully they can work out for everybody. And if they don't, that's why we have outs, right? So please be very, very careful. I did want to bring to everyone's attention as well. Right now, Ethereum, ETH. Breaking a little lower here, so we're going to trade a little bit of ETHE right now. So there it is, trying to break that 2,500. We're going to go a little short now on this, but it looks like it doesn't want to go. So we may break lower on Ether right now. 51s are right there, so just watch out. There we go. We're now out of that. So no, actually we're still in it. So we'll wait to see where this goes. But 2,500 looking like a breaking spot here for ETHE, guys.
Look, a couple of things here. Now, I get a lot of questions about it, so I'll quickly go through it for those of you guys that don't know. You're going to see me every single day in PHO and CLDR. These are cash buyouts. I do basically market make and spread trade on them. So you'll see me come out of shares, in and out of shares on these. They're not going to move a ton. You're going to see a lot of fills in here. I was short and made some good money here as it came to the downside. And I'm going to basically take tight ranges and then try to take a penny or two. Now, I can do this on the side because I've been doing it for years while I'm momentum trading, but for the vast majority of traders, this is probably not something which is going to be too sexy for you or that you can make a ton of money on unless you're able to trade a lot for very, very low fees here, guys. So you will see me in those. I don't waste my time talking about it or brag about the wins that I have on it because it's not something that most people are going to trade. We try to stick to what is moving for you guys, but there are other avenues that we have at Day Trade the World, which are advantageous, and one of those is sort of doing that sort of spread trading, rebate trading strategy. I'm still sitting on the bid on Ride. All you gotta do is complain about it. All you gotta do is complain about not getting the fill. I'm still sitting on the bid at Ride, and I got that 77. I'm still going to, if it pops, play into this one back into the short side, but as you look, it resisted that offer I had up at 27 by stopping at 25, so I'll probably kick this down to like 10.17 or 10.20 or so, and then try and get back in. This is still trending to the downside, but I like that reverse off 10.50. I mean, the longer it fails to really break down, and this level here would be about 9.70, because I don't think that was real at 8.90. I could be wrong about that, but I didn't see it live. It's entirely possible. There's a few shares that went off down there, probably just some crazy wipeout fills. But I think this 10.70 has to go, so 9.70 has to go. They get some more shares out in front of 9.50, and then hopefully down to like 9.25. I'm willing to play it in both directions. It just hasn't given any kind of a long trade. I mean, none of these have really given too many long trades, to be honest with you.
Okay, are we going to try AMC one more time here, breaking through 53? We tried that early, got burned, and it actually turned out to be a pretty big hit there. Buy. We got out at 49.50. Then we traded a little bit short there and out, and then this is nothing, out and about right there. So right now, not too many trades today on AMC. So it has to do something. I mean, these 48.50s were great buys down here, and I actually targeted that 47.50. And if you look at a 20-minute chart, this is why it was right down here, right into June 3rd, 4th. Right, these bottoms, 47.50 is really, and then we bottomed out there again on the 7th of June. So those were really the levels that I targeted, and I should have been a little more disciplined in the buys, right? And but again, I don't. This trade is not bothersome to me because we got to play momentum, and I thought breaking the pre-market high of 53 there was a good trade. So I don't. For me, that's fine. We did get out for 30 cents, but then the average is in here probably, and then this out probably should have been held for that 47. So unfortunately, we weren't able to pick anything up as we were in a lot of trades. But right now, I don't mind this 53 one more time. So we'll try to be patient this time and trade it when it comes, Brendan.
All right, guys, it is 10:30. That means coming up in about 15 minutes, our good friend, Joss Smith, coming through once again. This is my button's not working here, guys. Let me try again. There we go. This is a Tier 1 senior exchange here in Toronto, the NEO Exchange. President and CEO Josh Schmidt coming through to talk a little bit about the NEO Exchange, some of their latest listings, some of their latest companies that have chosen the NEO Exchange, talk about why they have chosen the NEO Exchange and some benefits from that. So stick around, won't you? About 15 minutes away, we'll have Josh coming through, guys. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things in Europe are shaping up so far this morning. Miss V has been watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mixed. Airline stocks, including Air France, Lufthansa, and IAG, are all up more than 3% after the US CDC said it was easing travel recommendations for more than 100 countries. Back to you.
Yeah, I noticed some of the travel names in North America as well having decent days, guys, but so much of the focus obviously elsewhere.
Yes, sir. And look, we talked about the strategies that we're trying to put on here and guys' entries, points, and exits and trying to be patient. I did get back into GEO. I waited for it to get right back into that previous pre-market high and that breakout price. Look, I took profit at that price. I maybe should have gotten a little bit of a hold, but this is why I want to jump in front of VWAP here. I wasn't able to add because it didn't really go any deeper into VWAP, but it looks like it's trying to roll back over here. Now, there was some tension at like 880 or so. So I want to make sure I get some shares out in front of that on GEO. I also want to come back over to Wendy's. Now, I was looking at Wendy's for the chance that it would get down to that 25 mark, but it's now twice holding this 26 level. This is the second time it's trying to break it. Having a little bit of luck is it just got down to like 97, 96. But if this doesn't get to like 25, 75, then I'd probably just jump back into it at 26 even for that bit of a bottom pick. We'll already do this, and we'll do the fist bump for that GEO. And look, this is why one of the reasons why this community is good, why we love having a trading community and having the trading floor is sometimes there's a stock that on a day like today where there's so much that's moving, something like a GEO, which also has a short interest, where it was involved, it was a big time gapper. It's going to show up on a lot of lists, but I wasn't looking at it until you guys were hollering it out. You guys know I do look for those like halt, reopen style trades. So I did try it 3 times, now the 4th time short, and the setups are just there for me. So I like trading specific setups where I can. You have to find, the thing about trading setups as opposed to stocks is you have to be able to apply them on different symbols that fit the parameters of your trade. And that means hunting out those opportunities on a daily basis as opposed to just trading the same stock over and over. So that's one thing where having a bit of a community or knowing where to look is going to be advantageous. But you got to find those strategies first, and you have to stick to your rules second. Both those are equally important here. So I just got some shares out at 885, just said I would. So we take that quick little 30+ cent winner. If it gets back down to that low, maybe we'll get a buck again on GEO to the short side. That's a short that's working. Ride's a short that's working. Wish is one that is, I wish I was in. That's like the millionth time that pun's going to be great today. Brendo?
Just checking on Co-Diagnostics. Just noticed that this one just popped up 10% almost for CODX. Decent volume here today. We're above some levels here, guys, on CODX. Not seeing anything in the way of headlines yet, though, for this one.
Well, I mean, you may not need a headline for some of these things that are ripping upside here. So we'll wait to see where we go from here, though. But all good, man. I mean, it's been a good trade for us today. Thank you guys for watching the show, and thank you for participating. Like Neil said, man, in the chat. That's super important to us because that's where we sort of get some of those information, and that's where we get to feel out, what you guys are looking for and how things are going. I do see, and on that note, another name that I had on my list today. No, actually, it wasn't. Look, if you can. Find the watch list. I mean, a lot of these were breaks today and levels that we liked. I love the watch list today, but unfortunately, a lot of the stocks fell to the downside. Thank God we were able to hit Wish, so that made things a little bit better. But one stock that I'm surprised isn't on the list, and I thought it was. Now that I look at it, it's not. That was Rocket. So I really like, and we talked about this. I had the order out in the pre-market. It just never filled, and I even still have it out now. I just canceled it because we're not there. But this 2280 level, I liked Rocket, and again, sure, this is going to be one of those names that people are going to talk about squeezes because there is a % short. Maybe we could find out what that is now, Brendan, but I thought it was maybe in the teens. It was in the 20s at one point. But I really like Rocket, nothing to do with Wall Street. I mean, this is good. Like I was long this name from time, didn't get enough out in this, so I feel a little bit bitter about that, but Rocket, we were long this one. I liked it, formerly Quicken Loans. I was buying it here, and this is why I'm long. And it's just a fluke where we are now, 22. I mean, I still think we can get to 25 reasonably, but these bottoms of 18, 19, 20 is why we were long, right? It's the exact same reason why. And Palantir is going to look much cleaner and much better because, simply put, it is much better. But if you notice down here, this is where we started to buy Palantir. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more. They came to market. We know they're a 17, 18-year-old company. We know they have real business. We know they have real contracts. So this was a business and a company that I loved downside here, Palantir. So we were buying a lot here. We had calls, we had everything. And then again, it just started taking off. And then it gets caught up in some of the Wall Street bet stuff here. Upside there, I got some out. Again, not enough. And then we just bought recently on, this was earnings. And again, this was the most confusing play for me in earnings season, was just like why this happened this day down to 1650 when we thought the report was okay. When it bounced back up, we were able to get 1850s on this day. So right now we're riding the 1850 longs. No options, nothing like that, just stock. And it's going to be for long term. I believe we get to 30 in the next little bit. So little bit by maybe next quarter. We'll get back to 30. I think they'll come up with a good report. And again, CDC, they signed another contract yesterday. So let's just keep on watching Palantir. But remember, it's not a great day trade. We talked about that early. People asked me, why am I not on Palantir anymore? Oh my God, it did go down. I said we were going to wait for 24. It goes to 24.20. But right now, like only 40 cents of a move today, guys. It's not a big one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you have to have sort of like parameters for why you will trade a stock, why you won't. I mean, I'm looking at that Akerna here, a cannabis name up. I don't necessarily see news, but a volume spike just did occur, and I do see that it's up $1 here. But I don't want to necessarily trading blind. I just know that it's a cannabis play. It's a big enough volume spike that I gotta feel like something just happened other than just a pure clean level break at 470. But on a day like today, it might just be that. And if it is, I'd watch out for that pullback. I said I'd wait for a certain condition. Well, two things in Wendy's. One, a test of 25. Of course, that didn't happen. But the second push down below 26, it holds at 90, so just a few cents below that, and then retakes 26. I get back in after it's broken 26, so kind of on the way up instead of the way down. As with Clover, I'm going to have relatively tight stops here. If it breaks below, I'm out. I'm just looking to basically sit in front of this level. I might give it more room if there wasn't that 25, which is clearly the better. And we talked about this on the daily chart, of course, guys. So it's clearly the better level on Wendy's at a 25. So even as far as a day trade goes, I'm going to like playing that in front just a little bit better. Ride, I'm holding on to this short. There hasn't been too much reason to take another leg out. It has now cracked a couple of times that 970 area. This one could get pretty ugly on any flushes. Once you're below that $10 range, you start to think about on the daily chart here, where was next support? I mean, you're talking 780, maybe like an 880, then 780, where it bounced allegedly here off the open. So those levels to the downside are quite a ways away. You got to give yourself some room when you're in the direction of overall where some of these meme and squeeze stocks are going, which is southbound. But also start thinking about the fact there could be some panic selling in something like a ride. It is short sell restricted, so once you got it, you kind of want to hold on to it a little bit. Brendo?
I just actually noticed, just checking out some of the sectors. We're going to talk about the sectors coming up here in a second. But 4% here for Macy's, yeah. They issued a revised full year and Q2 over here guidance today, guys, to the upside. So increase both Q2 and full year guidance for Macy's.
Yeah, I mean, we brought that one there, and it was, I mean, the thing is, it's a good look there, and again, probably very, very sector specific, so good for retail, man. What a nice move up for Macy's. We were looking at this level, and I know it was Cuckoo Kachu was looking at this one, 17.7, I believe that's your name on the chat. We were looking at 17.75. I love that break spot for sure, but just equally as good appears to have been. And again, we weren't looking at this. I didn't even have my mind on retail today. No Target, no Walmart, things like that. I mean, what? You know what? That reminds, I was about to say JCPenney. I wonder what's going on with that one. I'll have to talk to Jeff Mendel, VP OTC Markets. I believe that's still over there. Okay, but right now, 19 and change, 1930 there was a great spot. So if you're looking for Macy's, which I am now, I like the stock. I mean, it's a big one. We've talked about why. There's lots of trading happening on Macy's. Good volume, 6.5 million shares. dividend. You know, there's lots of stuff going on here. But for me, this has to pull back a little bit. I don't want to play this high. That might be a nice move from 17 up to 1950. Good move for Macy's. I'm not going to play the breakout. Normally, I'm all over this, but for today, no. I'll hold back on Macy's. If we get back to 19, I do like it. There's some decent size at 50, which could give you some momentum breaks.
Yeah, and we're gonna go with we'll go with this for Wendy's one more time. Tight stop on the long, try it to bounce, it makes a fresh low. So tight stops on these long trades that we have as the momentum continues to the downside, but then expand your horizons on the short. So, you know, you get another breakdown on ride. I'm kind of looking back to this 950, but the only reason why I don't have an order in front, and I'll throw level 2 up so you guys can see it here, there is this whatever nonsense stacked offer that's sitting here at 965. Now, I haven't seen this thing these levels get touched. It's relatively the same size on 3 major books here. So like it's entirely, this could be cold stuffing for all I know. And realistically, I don't like playing off of that. It's gamesmanship. And if it breaks this level, I'd probably take some out at like a 75 and then hold on to the rest for a bigger move down. But to the extent that this might be a big seller trying to catch a fill, it is short sell restricted. So sitting on the offer is what you got to do. It might be legitimate. If that pushes it in 950, I want to catch whatever the turn would be or the first level of support. So I want to see a big bid. I want to see that order get filled, or I want to see a wipeout bottom before I get some more shares out of this ride. Deeply in the money now on that short. And you guys are going over to Brennan. It is time for Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the overall S&P 500. Tale of two stories a little bit today. Negativity coming from the middle here, mostly outside of tech stocks that are positive, but banks, industrial, and consumer discretionary shares all in negative territory. We were just talking about Macy's there. I'll show you the other ones. They're moving around. There's Target, DG, there's KMX. There's a few retailers that are having a decent day, but L Brands here, GPS, Dollar Tree as well to the downside. So again, a tale of two stories as far as what is moving to the upside and what is not. UPS and FedEx here, both very strong over the past couple of weeks. Coming back to earth a little bit today, UPS down 3.5%, but industrials overall among the leaders to the downside. Same story with this group here. The individual banks, most of them anyways, in negative territory, I should say. There's a few here that are positive. Healthcare stocks, however, offsetting all of this and then some. Mostly due to Biogen. We mentioned BIIB up 4%, holding that 4% gain as well. Gilead is here, Regeneron, BMY, all 2.5% to 3% to the upside, helping along the way as well. Consumer staple stocks, CPB, we mentioned Campbell Soup, negative territory, 7% to the downside after earnings were actually in line with expectation. It was the forecast, as I said, that was a little bit negative for them. CIG there as well. Dish 4.4% after earnings. Fox A and Fox. Twitter is there as well. Communication stocks overall pretty positive today. There was a couple of positive notes from analysts on Twitter worth mentioning. It's having quite the day, guys. But overall, we're positive. So there's that. 0.15 for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Guys, we're really excited. We do have President and CEO Josh Schmidt coming from Neo Exchange. Find out all about them. Big tier 1 broker or exchange, sorry. We're excited. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Great opportunity to get educated about some things that you may not know about for the Toronto market, that's for sure. There's the Wish, man. We talked about that. We were waiting for 10, but hey, we'll take $3 on this short all day. So there's the out right there for Wish. So good trade there. We're happy that we were able to make that. Other than that, man, Tilray's been nothing but upside as well. So that one's moving around. And then, you know, we're just looking for some more names. So right now, BlackBerry to the downside, INO moving as well. But yeah, things happening right now. Let's check in. A lot of you want to know about AMC. Today, it's just been light for me. These are negative trades. We take the 53 break. Doesn't work, man. Buy. Breaks lower. Unfortunately, we got out at 50, which was good because it does go all the way to 48. But that was a good pickup down there on the bottom side of things. So, you know, as we move forward here with AMC, we'll have to wait, man. If it breaks 53, I'm getting in, but I'm not really loving this action here. Back to VWAP, a 50-50 buy is something that I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I just got more of that Geo, but I see you, Shakib, there. TME, great look here, and look, you guys are all over it. Volume spike, upside, breakout, consolidation off this 16 failed break. The only thing it's not perfect about this is like 1650 is a bit of a top on the daily, and you do come back. And there's a bit of a gap from that 16 up to that 1650, like I mentioned. So that's probably the only thing that scares you out of that setup if you're taking a short in this cluster here. So I won't be doing it at this particular time of day, but I love that you guys know it's a volume spike break. There is some room to the next level to the upside there for 1650 if you're looking to hold out and just want to throw a stop in at like 1585 and maybe trail it there. If you're in the long for the rollover, I mean, it's not a bad setup giving it to the high of the day, but maybe extending it to that 1650 could be a little bit better here. I think we are ready. I mean, Sean just shouted it out, and he's a friend of the show. We've had him on before, and we'll welcome him right back. Let's go to Brennan for our guest of the day.
All right, guys, thanks. Yeah, it's been far too long, in fact, since we've had our friend Josh Schmidt on with us, President and CEO of the NEO Exchange, to talk about the NEO Exchange coming up to their 6th birthday already in July. Will be about a month from now. We'll talk about that coming up. But let's bring on Josh, guys, and get an update on how things have been going over at the NEO Exchange. As I mentioned, Josh, it's great to see you, first of all. It's been far too long. I hope you're well.
Very well, Brandon, and a true pleasure to be back with all of you. I miss you guys.
Yeah, it's I mean, given everything that's going on, we do what we can as far as technology provides, anyways. But let's talk about the NEO Exchange. Yeah, I just noticed coming up to birthday number 6 for the NEO Exchange. So congratulations. Things still going very well.
No, indeed, 6 years, and I would say an incredible journey over all those years. And I would say when I look at last year and the beginning of this year, we see incredible growth and momentum. And it's not only on the trading side where we are today, regularly touching 15% of all volume traded in Canada, but it's also on the corporate listing side and ETF listing side. But let's maybe zoom in on the corporate side, where we have seen incredible acceleration. And I would say that today we are probably around 30, 40 corporate listings. We have a very substantial pipeline that I would probably put at 80 to 100 other corporates, with about 15, 20 that are in full process of getting listed, and lots of other things going on. As always, not later than today, we announced a totally new data solution for one of the segments in the market that has been underserviced, the MFDA advisors. So always continuing to innovate, coming with new ideas and doing what we believe is what is right for the investors, the traders, and the capital raisers.
Let's discuss. A lot of viewers watching might not be terribly familiar with the NEO Exchange if they're based in the U.S. Let's talk about what really sets NEO apart, because there are some very important differences that traders and investors need to be aware of when it comes to the NEO Exchange. Tell us about what has really given these companies the incentive to come to you versus other options in the market, and what really sets NEO apart.
Yeah, I think there's a number of factors, and I think that is what has been driving our success with all those new listings. I think first element that I always put forward is that people have to realize that we are what we call a tier 1 exchange. So we are not a venture exchange here in Canada. We're a tier 1 exchange, and in other words, we are directly competing with the TSX. But why is that status important for investors? Because it gives you a number of guarantees, I would say, around the quality of the corporates. They need to have the right governance in place. They need to have the proper financial controls in place, the proper financial reporting. They need to comply with exchange standards that are substantially superior than those that you have on a venture exchange. So many elements that give you at the end of the day, better quality companies. That's as plain and simple as it is. And you see that also with respect to the behavior of institutional investors. Institutional investors typically will not invest in venture companies for all the reasons that I just mentioned. You also see that from the perspective of international exchanges. When a company is looking at a dual listing on NASDAQ or NYSE or the London Stock Exchange, it's going to be much easier when you are listed on a tier 1 exchange, again, because they also acknowledge that quality. But those elements, and probably the last one that I should not forget, only tier 1 exchanges get included in benchmarks, and we recently got included, as you may know, into the FTSE benchmarks, in the MSCI benchmarks, and more to come. But all of that, of course, you could say, well, that is not very different from a TSX. Now, with respect to the TSX, we also have a lot of differentiation, and I think I would probably bring it back in a couple of core elements. One, we have a very unique liquidity program where we leverage a multi-pronged approach with some of the biggest market makers globally that are providing liquidity in the stock. Think about Virtue, think about RBC Capital Markets. We enable third-party liquidity providers. We work closely with the day trading community, and all of that supported by a trading engine and a trading model that protects all of those liquidity providers from predatory trading strategies. So it's easier for them to post more size and better spreads because we give them the time to adjust their quotes so they're not taken out by other parties. Second element that I think is very important is we also developed an entire program to help companies that go public with their go-to-market. And we work there with partners, and we have an entire strategy defined for them on how to reach all types of investors: retail investors, institutional investors, investment advisors, financial advisors, family offices, and all types of components that you need, because you can have all the liquidity in the world. If you don't have the investors that are there and ready to participate or are not aware of your stock, you have an issue. So lots of focus on that is important. Also a lot of focus on access outside of Canada. Again, we are big supporters of ensuring that companies are also available for trading if they don't dual list immediately on OTC markets in the US, in OTC markets in Germany, in Frankfurt. That is what's enabling an easy access for the discount channels in those countries. And then last but not least, I think very focused on service. Like we heard a lot from our issuers. As an exchange, we are focused on solutions, not on problems, and I think that makes a very big difference also and gives them an incredible experience.
When it comes to, there's been obviously a shift in focus for retail investors. You mentioned a couple of reasons there as why retail investors should be focused on the NEO exchange. But let's talk about this increased attention here as far as the retail market is concerned. And tell us a little bit about maybe some of the opportunities that the NEO exchange provides for that specific group.
Well, I think the way NEO is really starting to define itself, and it translates itself in the companies that list with us. I think what is becoming very clear is that companies that are part of the innovation economy are the ones that are really interested in NEO, which means companies that are growth companies that have a tremendous potential, companies also that come with substantial activity, that can come with a little bit more volatility because they are growth companies, and as you know, we just look at the NASDAQ index. Growth companies are much more subject to concerns around inflation or concerns around interest rates and things like that. So you have companies with enormous potential and companies at the same time that present interesting trading opportunities. And if you look at who's listing on NEO, who's in the pipeline of NEO, it reinforces that view of NEO being that innovation economy exchange, because what I see is clean tech, fintech, I see biotech, life sciences in general. You can put, of course, cannabis as being part of that. So all those types of new companies, technology companies in general, that are building what our world is going to be tomorrow, and that is very exciting. And it's also very exciting for us to be the organization that is enabling that in the Canadian market. But what we now start to see, we also start to see interest coming out of Europe. We start to see interest coming out of the US about listing on NEO. You will see in the next weeks and months some very interesting European companies and US companies listing on NEO. And again, all part of that innovation economy. And then I think that is clearly the brand that is developing around us. Reminds you a little bit of NASDAQ in the 90s, focused on the technology as they were. And I think, it's companies with big long-term opportunities, and it's companies that I think are going to give also a lot of trading opportunities. And then last but not least, but I can't say too much about that, you're also going to see us come with a very exciting new product, a new instrument that I think is going to be, we're not talking about an ETF, we're not talking about a mutual fund or type of product or anything of that nature. That is going to be extremely exciting for the retail and the day trading community. So keep your eyes open towards the end of the month about something very, very unique that's going to come, and it's probably going to be worth a good conversation in due time because it's going to open up a whole set of new opportunities for the Canadian community.
We're heading into the second half of the year, obviously, the 6th birthday coming up in July for the NEO exchange, and obviously lots of excitement and more developments to come from NEO. Josh Schmidt, the president and CEO of the NEO exchange. It's always a pleasure. We need to do this more often. Josh, always a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you, Brendan. True pleasure to be with you guys.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at the NEO exchange here in Toronto and in Canada. If you want more information, you can see the website at the bottom. Guys.
Thanks as always, Brendan. Just a couple of minutes to go here. Always a good and informative guest when we have Josh back. So good to have him back here. I want to try to recap as quickly as we can. We have back on. Clear we're going to be trading here, guys. CNBC can say what they want. We're not a meme channel. We're a trading channel at the end of the day. So we're going to trade what moves, and if that's what's moving, that's what we're going to trade. Lordstown also was moving because of yesterday's note. We still are in this short. It just broke 950, so I'm hanging on for dear life as this now looks like it's continued to crack down. It just, look, the momentum is with it. It's now short sell restricted, so if you got something on, holding on to it makes a little bit of sense to me, guys. That GEO, we're able to get some scalp trades on a few times here off of VWAP. The last one does stop us out for a bit of a tight stop, and that's what I'm going to continue to do here today, guys, is go with the tighter stops and the setups that we really, really like. If this gets back up to 11, I think it's worth a little bit of a test. Another one of these short squeeze names. I don't know if it's on Wall Street Bets, but the short interest was pretty heavy in Geo. So do watch out if you're shorting this. Always have an out before you get in. Brendo?
All right, guys, it is that time. A couple of minutes left here. Make sure you come back this afternoon. Join us at 3:15. Yesterday afternoon was crazy. There was a lot of moves, a lot of excitement heading into the close yesterday. So definitely come back 3:15 this afternoon. We will be back. Won't you join us? Let's have a look at what's coming up as far as earnings tonight, guys.
I don't see any names on there that could be of any interest. I'm not sure if there's a big one on there or not. Don't look at me like that, Valeria. We're just joking around. Yeah, there'll be GameStop on there for 100% certain, and we'll be trading that.
Oh, fuel
tomorrow.
cell too, right?
Yeah, fuel cell. I mean, there's gonna be there's gonna be lots. And the thing is, though, are we looking at earnings right now, or are we just looking at everything else? So there's tons of stock to look at. I like a Wendy's break through 26.50. I'll just leave that with you guys. If that can go up, I like it. We've already had that bottom. You have an easy out. Like that out right there is gonna be 75 cents worth. And this is the difference, right? And I know what you're saying, Randy, that they're talking about meme channels, but look, they mentioned Trader TV Live on CNBC. That's perfect. Have everybody come over and say, what is this show? Then they'll see what it's all about, and then you guys will be hopefully, as excited as we are for this. So we are excited, but who knows, man? They may never mention it again, and we really don't care. But we do like the coverage. And hey, look, man, we're a legit trading show, so let's just keep that party going. Thank you to Joss. There's some very, very interesting stuff. If you've never heard of NEO, look them up. Big thing, 6 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're here to learn. We're here to trade. That's what everyone's doing here today. And a community as well, finding ideas is fantastic. The other thing we got to do is, have a little bit of fun. We're going to find out what national day it is from Miss V, although I don't think she's going to have to go with that rainbow look unless you guys get on it here, because we didn't crack that 5K. We're about 4,000 likes, guys. So I don't know if we're getting that rainbow look with the hair, Miss Fee, but let us know what national day it is. You guys got 1 minute.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, I think it was a wonderful start of this trading day together. Thank you very much for 4,000 likes. Each like is very important to us. We love you and appreciate your support a lot. And again, guys, as soon as we get 6,000 likes, I make a poll and we decide whether I do green, rainbow, or Harley Quinn hair. So let's have fun. Hit thumbs up and happy National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day, everyone. Rhubarb?
Look, first of all,
Rhubarb, hello, rhubarb.
It's all, you can't go wrong, man. You cannot go wrong. Pie over cake every single day. All day, every day.
Yeah, we dancing for rhubarb, man. Shout out to. There's the 4,000. Yeah, shout out to all who love rhubarb. All right, what's up, Brendo?
Nothing. I was getting excited about rhubarb pie as well, guys. It's about that season. No, I was getting excited about that, and 4,000 likes. Huge day, guys. Thanks so much, everyone that stopped by. And again, make sure you come back this afternoon, 3:15. We will be back.
Exactly. Successful like this and a fun day like this, it's a humbling experience as always, because you guys are the best community out there and we enjoy what we do. But for the entire team, for Ms. V, who may someday have to do that rainbow hair, the Harley Quinn look, which I think will look fantastic on her, for Brennan, who actually likes the rhubarb pie. I love it. For myself, Neil Roberts, and my friend Sean Katina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, this is Trader TV Live. We will see you at the close. Bye.
Bye, guys.